5 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, 6th in the 8th inning to win in a 17 for the final. It was a season-best 15 hits, a season-best 17 runs, and you see the 14 free passes allowed as well. And when you're facing a team that has 94 stolen bases, easily the league leader in the SEC, you can't give them that many walks and hit by pitches.
Correct. Free passes are going to kill you in this league. They're going to kill you almost in any league, even T-ball. Just to make sure Missouri needs to get back on the bump here and deliver some quality pitches today.
I'd love to know how you get a free pass at T-ball. Caden Jacoby, the senior, on the bump for Mizzou. This will be his 5th straight start after his first 5 outings came out of the bullpen. And for Caden Jacoby, the senior from O'Fallon, 2-5, 9.17 the ERA. You see his last outing, certainly one of his better runs. He did throw 3 innings scoreless on the road in Baton Rouge. That was a month and a few days ago, but 5 1/3 against Florida. That matched a season-long outing.
2 words: breaking ball control. That's 3 words. Here we go. If he throws the breaking ball in the correct spot, I think you're going to see some success against these right-handed hitters.
So Caden Jacoby, work cut out for him when you're facing this red-hot Oklahoma offense coming off arguably their best day at the dish collectively. I mean, they had 3 players in the heart of the order at 4, 5, and 6 that all walked and were hit by a pitch. Had a player draw 5 free passes last night, hit a couple times, walked a few times. That's Zach Christensen. It's a lineup that pretty much has stayed the same of late. And it looks almost identical to what we saw in Game 1 last night. We're off and running now with the first pitch strike at 90 miles an hour. So Gamble still in the leadoff spot. Dickerson had a career-best 3 runs and 3 RBIs and 3 hits. Career night for the freshman from Missouri in that 8th spot. The lone change, Taki and Christensen. They flipped 2 big lefty hitters. Taki up in the 4 spot, Christensen down to batting 7.
Watch out for Mr. Taki. Guy had some really big swings last night. Got the couple RBIs as well, couple walks. Straw that stirs the drink in the middle of the order. Who doesn't love a big first baseman left-handed in the middle of the order?
Drake Gamble, we talked to last night after the game. What an incredible performance. 3 for 5, 6 RBIs, 2 homers. The other hit was also an extra base hit, and it drove in 2. That gap shot double out to right center. 519 the OBP. Moved up 7 points a night ago. And he takes strike 3 called. Paints the inside corner at 91. Good start out of the shoot for Caden Jacoby.
We talked about breaking ball command. This is a good heater. Inside. Did the hole open on this guy. Pretty good pitch. Little 2-seamer. Front door a little bit off there, but hey, Missouri will take it.
Makes a good run to it. It's a good pitch. It starts it off the plate. Maybe he just sniped the inside corner. That'll set up for a second time through the order when he's facing these lefties, working away with that 2-seamer, starting towards the corner, and then riding it off the plate, trying to get chases. Jackson Willits, the shortstop, batting second. 1 for 4 with a couple of runs batted in, also walked yesterday. And that double all the way out to the wall in center over the head of Pierre. Taps this weakly on the ground, out to Basler at second, 2 up, 2 down.
Got that sinker ball working. Hardest thing for the righties or lefties that are throwing sinker balls, trying to figure out where to start it, where to end it. It's like he's feeling it pretty good. You saw the punch out with a lefty. He's running it away from the 2-hole hitter. Got a weak contact. Old-fashioned 4-3 to second base.
I mentioned last night, the first inning's been big for Oklahoma. Their last 3 wins entering this series. They put up at least 3 runs in the first inning. Well, they went 3 up, 3 down yesterday. It was a great start for Brady Kellenbrink. Ultimately went 4 innings, allowed 3 runs, but it was the bullpen that really gave up the bulk of the damage. 14 runs allowed by the likes of Lucas, McCartney, and Smith. But first 2 retired. Mizzou trying to get right back in the dugout and grab the sticks. Easton Carmichael takes one at the knees for a strike. All-plate umpire here in Game 1 is Matt Wilbanks. There's a ton of OU players with OPSs over 900. Nobody with an OPS north of 1,000 entering the series, but Gamble did get well over that mark with his incredible day yesterday. 1-1, rocketed towards short, and that's going to skip by into left center for a base hit. Carmichael, the catcher, he's thinking too on his horse, and he'll get in standing.
If you thought you were going to keep this guy down after 2 quick outs are recorded, he said, I'll just go ahead and make this a double here. Been very impressed with him in a super small sample size.
Yeah, 3 for 6 start to his series, had 4 hits, was 4 for 10 with a home run over the weekend versus Vandy. He's got 6 RBIs in his last 9 games. Oddly enough, 5 of them came in that Saturday game against the Commodores. So now it's Dayton Taki. Here's the low change in the lineup. Same 9 guys. It's just Christensen and Taki to flip-flop. You were impressed with Taki's performance a night ago. 2 for 4, a couple runs batted, a couple runs scored, also drew a free pass.
See if he makes me look smart here. You know, most teams have a recipe, right, Max? When you're playing on your 10-year-old team, hey, the leadoff guy gets on, next guy bunts, the other guy gets a double, and that's how we score runs.
Here's just swinging a fly ball out towards Brock Daniels in left. First opportunity for Brock out there, did not feature last night. He puts it away, and that ends the inning. The Sooners leave a man stranded in scoring position.
He wants to throw. There are some scouts in the stands that didn't come to see me and you, Max. They came to see this guy.
There are no scouts that came to see us. He's 6'2", the 6'2" righty. 2.08 the Aaron Grund average. This will be start number 10 in his first 9. He's allowed 3 runs or fewer in all 9. Coming off his best, strongest outing, a complete game shutout. 7 innings in that run rule victory last Saturday versus the Commodores. 2 hits, 6 strikeouts, and Dylan, 0 walks.
No way. It's impossible.
That's how it's done. He's got a 5-pitch mix. He'll face Keegan Knutson here first, and he tips a fastball at 95 right into the mid. So for the Tigers offensively, they did make some changes. That top 5 stays the same. Brock Daniels enters in left and batting 6th. Peyton Basler hypes up a couple of spots, and then Garrett Goldbeck is in the lineup for the first time. He's batting 9th and DHing. This is Sky, left side of the infield. It's foul ground, and it is gonna be caught leading over into the dugout. Dawson Willis, how about it?
Not going to talk about yesterday's sack bunts. This guy's got some new shades on, new eye black. Hey, I'm coming right into your living room here. Good pitching and good defense. What does that mean, Max?
That's how you get success, and you know it. It's always tougher to be leaning into the other team's dugout. They're not going to help you out. They're not going to let you know.
Correct.
Leaning into a ton of gold jerseys, a lot of traffic there by the railing.
Very nice play.
Wind was blowing out to left. There's not much wind to speak of right now, but that's a tough area to navigate. Left side of the infield was sound defensively. Willis and Willits yesterday had that great combo, name-wise and
Correct.
defensive ability-wise.
Like a boy band out there.
Jackson Lovich, consistently the best bat in this lineup. After a low fastball and pounds it foul towards third. So it's a twin bill, and we mean that literally, because you're seeing Kyson Witherspoon in game 1 today for OU, projected first rounder. And then you'll see his twin Malachi going in game 2.
You start seeing video cameras go up here from scouts. Definitely going to go pretty high.
Lovich with that 1,040 OPS. 1-1 the count in this right-on-right matchup. And he swings and misses, so you got that fastball in the mid to high 90s, tops at 99. On the 20 to 80 scout grade, it grades out tied for his best pitch at 60 with that slider. That slider in the mid to high 80s. He's got the cutter, the curveball, which is still relatively new, and then the changeup. High 80s, low 90s on the change. Clocked it at 91 occasionally. There's 97 right there. And Dylan, you're watching his arm circle. That's what you were focusing on in the warm-ups. It's tight, it's short, it's compact, it's repeatable.
Bingo.
Not going to lead to many injuries, knock on wood, you would expect when you project him out. And it's a guy who's got a big league heater and a big league slider.
They grade out pretty high. Very impressed already. Just knows the zone really well.
Check swing on a ball in the dirt. And it is strike 3. There's the first punch out for Kyson Witherspoon. He's at 12 Ks twice already this year. Had 6 last week in that complete game shutout versus Vandy.
When you're watching this at home, too, we talked about being repeatable. Watch how little effort it looks like he gives. Very calm, very controlled. Throws the breaking ball in a good spot. Swing over the top of it. I bet Coach Skip Johnson enjoys calling these pitches. It's like a video game. You think he plays video games? I'm going to go ahead and answer that no.
This is chested down. Looking for a second by Taki, but there's your PFPs on display in the first. 3 up, 3 down for Kyson Witherspoon. He picks up right where he left off last Saturday versus Vandy. Skip Johnson, one of the best pitching minds across the college baseball landscape. Been with this team. This is season number 8. They just started the back half of the SEC slate. Their first season in the Southeastern Conference with a win to improve to 8-8. A win in either game today. They'll have 4 series wins in their first 6 series. Runner-up in Omaha back in 2022. Oh, he's a great man to sit down and have a conversation with. If you're lucky enough to do that, you really want him to do the bulk of the talking.
Yeah, correct. You just want to shut up. That's what I did. I said, all right, I'm going to let you talk. Let's talk some JUCO baseball.
Yeah, the second he started talking JUCO, I could see your ears and eyes just perk up. He was like, Max, I don't want any more questions. Let me talk to Dylan for a second here about Sanjak and about Texas.
There we go.
Junior college baseball.
You know about it. A lot of those guys from Miami go to junior college baseball as well.
Jason Walk at the plate, sophomore from Ackworth, Georgia. And he smokes one into right field. That'll be the second base hit for the Sooners. Just turned on one and roped it into right. Leads the team in extra base hits and doubles. Undersized guy, but a lot of pop in the bat and covers just a ton of ground at center.
Let's just talk about that maturity, right? He's seen 2 lefties come up to the plate, been throwing the ball inside. Said, I'm not going to wait around. I'm going to get a heater in here, and I'm going to deposit it for a single to right field quickly on the bases. Let's see if Missouri makes an adjustment. Stole a base, got to third last night. They run all the time. See if they make an adjustment, Max.
Branch had to spin away from that pitch inside. So this middle of the order, it stays the same as, or just about the same as yesterday, but 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup a day ago were combined just 1 for 7. In a game in which they had a season high in hits and runs. Huge lead at first for Walk. There he goes. Pitch is cut on and missed. The throw down on a hop. It is not nearly a time. It's another stolen base. It's going to be batter's interference, actually. Boy, that's a tough moment for the freshman Kyle Branch. He is out, and Walk will go back to first.
This is just something I know Coach Skip Johnson probably talks about. Stay in the box. Don't want to get called out on that kind of weaker call. I know he's trying to put the ball in play, but just stand your ground and foul it off or put it in play or do something. Good jump at first base as well. Missouri not picking off so far.
That's tough. He had a killer jump. Was always going to get there. Boy, that's chucked down the right field line. Give him that base right back. J.D. Hernandez throws it well over the head of Jackson Lovich, and they just gift wrap Walk at extra 90 feet. So that'll go 8-2. It's the second throwing error this series for J.D. Hernandez, the former Seton Hall man.
Whenever I talk to catchers about that, it's always better to miss down, right? It's always better to miss down. I know he's not trying to overthrow anybody as well, but use that turf, skip it. If it doesn't feel good, just eat it.
Jacoby, we've talked about kind of that funky stretch where he gets set up with the glove out on that front hip instead of the back one. Makes it a little interesting when he comes set, and well, he just drilled Sam Christensen, who just got hit again. That is the 4th time he's been hit in this series. Doesn't matter where he's batting in the order.
I don't know if they hate him or don't like him. I'm just teasing. This is...
Oh, if you're going to get hit, that's where to do it. The strap on the shin guard. Took the Velcro off.
Missouri catches a break on the catcher's interference. Now they got first and second in the blink of an eye.
Fastball up and out of the zone. So this just strange, I would call it, run continues. 7 plate appearances in the series for Christensen. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Hasn't put the ball in play, but he's walked twice and been hit by a pitch 4 times. Next level type of production. Not the kind you draw up. On one hop over to third. Patterson steps on the back for one. The throw across. In time, double play. That's how the inning comes to an end. It's not how you draw it up for Mizzou, but it's a 0 on the board for Caden Jacoby. Nevertheless, middle of the second here at Como. Inning 3 up, 3 down with a strikeout. I mean, the accolades are plenty. 6-2 in the ERA, just a little over 2. The reigning SEC co-pitcher of the week. I mean, top 10 of the SEC. This has been the most consistent arm in the conference. I think no question about it here in 2025.
You're exactly right. I was telling you during the break, this is somebody that I would like to get in the box against And, you know, baseball's one of those games where you don't try to overdo it or add more juice to the situation. He's going to supply all the juice, be ready to hit. He's not going to walk you. Make sure he comes in your zone. He's not perfect. He's going to make a mistake, and when he does, better make him pay.
Here, Seals fouls that away. Yeah, it's that time of year where when we talk to college coaches all around the country getting ready for series, you hear a lot about starters. Hey, you know, if you just took away that one outing where he got roughed up, you know, on the road at LSU, on the road at Fayetteville, whatever, what have you, this is not a guy that has that one blemish start. They have all been very, very quality.
Workmanlike, yeah?
Yeah, but I mean, he is just overpowering. There's a swing and a miss. There's that nasty slider.
You know, this is a little dose of reality. You want to play at the next level, pro ball, the big leagues. See if you can get a hit against this guy.
This guy hasn't broken a sweat.
Correctly. Correct.
I don't mean today. I mean this year.
Correct.
Maybe in practice when he's running foul poles after throwing long toss. I don't know. 0-2 to Seals. Just off the outside corner.
Just find out quickly how far your baseball career is going to go when you're hitting against this guy.
Yeah, how about that 0-2 as well, right? I mean, part of the scouting report coming into this year was he was a guy when he was out of the zone, maybe a little bit too far out of the zone, not getting the chases. That's exactly how you wanted to execute that slider away to a righty. Set handle 1-2. High fastball blows it by him at 96. 4 up, 4 down, 2 punch outs for Kyson Witherspoon.
I mean, we're going to keep talking about this, but this is just a straight four-seam heater at the top of the zone. Watch the catcher's glove. Doesn't move. Very impressive. We're going to talk about him all day, and then his Twins going to pitch the second game. You're going to get tired of us talking about it, but this is the cream of the crop.
So Skip Johnson described Kyson as kind of the more bashful of the two, a little bit of the quieter one. And, you know, we were asking Skip, hey, what are they like when the other one is on the mound? And he's like, you know, Malachi is the rattlesnake. You can hear him coming from a mile away. He's cheering on his twin out there. He's egging on his teammates. He's maybe letting the umpire hear a little about it, depending on the calls and depending how the innings go.
Chirping you too. He's like, Max stinks.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to have that dynamic. I feel like when you're Twins. And how cool for them and for their family. Hey, easy viewing this week.
Correct. They don't got to buy 2 separate plane tickets.
Or even if you're tuning in at home, it's just one day. It's a full day of Witherspoon's on the bump. Chris Patterson, the freshman. 1-1 the count. Grounds the plate from the right side, stands so far back in the box. I mean, this is a big league arsenal. You know, I was chatting with a buddy of mine, and Lance Brozdowski, who's a pitching expert and analyst for Marquee Sports Network, who helps out with the MLB Network's coverage of the MLB draft, and asking him, he sent me a ton of charts. That's what pitching guys do. They always have their charts, right? This is Yank Fall on a hop towards the Mizzou dugout. But asking him about Kyson and this arsenal, and he said, you know, the changeup, maybe a little bit of a work in progress. It's got more horizontal movement than depth with it. That's kind of just the way he releases and follows through the baseball. The cutter blends a little bit with the slider. Once he gets to the next level, any MLB front office is probably going to like to separate those two. But the fastball's electric, 19.2 inches of vertical break on average. 0-2, cut on and miss, got him with the slider. 3 punch outs in the last 4 batters.
And you're exactly right. Those charts are super helpful and analytical. With this arm action that he has, it's going to be hard for him to get some depth on a changeup and to get, you know, some of those cutters. But fastball slider, I'm going to say it's grading out pretty high on these scout scales as well. And he knows where it's going. That's the most important thing.
Brock Daniels up for the first time in this series. And gets jammed right away. Boy, that's 96 on your hands from a potential future first-round pick. Welcome to the series, Brock Daniels. But it's crazy when you hear scouts and experts talk about the Twins and how some of them see Malachi maybe having better pure stuff. But Kyson's just been absolutely dominant all season long. This has popped up and out of play. It's 0-2. And something you said after that first inning when you saw him is, man, this guy commands the strike zone well and just lights up the zone.
You're exactly right. I will give maybe junior college a little bit more run here. Maybe he ironed out a few kinks at junior college as well, but I mean, when you hear best pitcher in the conference, you must be doing something right.
And Brock Daniels goes down swinging. The man who transferred to Oklahoma, K's the man who transferred out of Oklahoma. Line him up and knock him down. Kyson Witherspoon, 3 up, 3 down, 3 Ks in the second. Boy, as advertised, 4 Ks and 2 perfect innings. Kyson Witherspoon, unfazed and unrelenting here in Columbia. Headliner, I think, from yesterday, Dylan, because it's a complete game, only 4 strikeouts. It's a complete game with under 90 pitches.
Yeah, what was it, 86? It's pretty impressive as well, and I don't think, he's not lighting up the gun with 117, but very, very impressive in conference to get a complete game. Saves the bullpen, saves a lot of things.
There's a lot of headlines. Obviously, Texas with the come from behind victory. Very tight game at home down in Austin. And Texas A&M, not even quietly anymore. They have rattled off 8 straight wins.
I guess maybe Tennessee woke them up, or maybe that Kentucky series at home where maybe they felt like they got cheated out of a Sunday game. I don't know. They're playing well. They wanted his head down there on a silver platter when they weren't winning. Now they've started to turn it around. They got a good team, Max.
And just because you said the word cheated, what happened with Alabama last night with the bases loaded, not that they were cheated, but that's certainly
correct.
In the Crimson Tide's mind, they were.
Not a fair shake.
Game that got away from him and that got out of hand.
Allegedly.
With the bases loaded, really had a chance maybe to add on and potentially bust it open themselves.
Correct.
On the road in Baton Rouge.
Every game's important, man. Every game is important. Every pitch is important.
Dawson Willis with a little jam shot. That's going to get easily over the head of the shortstop and into left for a base hit. And a single can always turn into a double for OU, especially when it's Dawson Willis. Leads the team with 15 stolen bases and the gem of a play defensively, too, leaning into the third base dugout.
What am I going to talk about, though, right now, Max?
You would like to see a pickoff move and a check on the run.
That's correct. You're 1 for 2, but I also see low pants today. He's rocking the pants down.
True. Okay.
Let's see if he's still got that motor in there. He can fly.
Here's another jam job. This one's going to be trouble if it's fair, but it's foul by a few yards. That is maybe the only time it feels like that Trey Gamble's been kind of beaten on a pitch.
Sure.
He went down looking earlier on a pitch he thought was a ball. Great chatting with him yesterday, former JUCO guy. I know you love that. Salt Lake Community College, this is year 1 in Norman for him, and he has just taken it and run with it. Scored 5 times over the weekend, drove in 6 runs himself yesterday.
This is quite a 9-1 combo here. Dawson can run. Dawson Willis, that is. And you got a power hitter here, gap hitter, smart hitter. Give Coach Skip Johnson a lot of options to play with when they turn that lineup over.
Gamble pokes one off the end of the back, curling foul down the left field line. Loved his selflessness in the post-game press conference. You can always tell, a player like that who's been around the block, been around for a long time, transferred from JUCO to the SEC, and saying, hey, they're going to pitch to me because Willits and Carmichael are next, and they're way better than me. That's his words.
It was very, very humbling to hear him say that. In a society where NIL and hey, me.
There goes Willis. The throw down to second is on the money, and it's in time. They got him. Willis caught for the 5th time this year.
You don't see that often. This is a pretty nice throw here. Mr. Hernandez getting the back-to-back start behind the dish. It's a nice pick at shortstop as well.
I mean, it took a perfect throw to get him. And if you're Keegan Knudsen, if you catch that, you don't even have to apply a tag. Gamble goes down swinging, 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks. This is some solid work here early from Caden Jacoby.
Talked about that breaking ball control. Showed him the 2-seamer in, first at bat, second at bat. That was a little bit of a nasty slider piece. Down and in.
For his first 32 start to the season, Trey Gamble, 13 strikeouts compared to 32 walks and 4 hit by pitches. Punched out twice at 2 at bats against this right-hander. Jackson Willits now. This is exactly how you want to face him. 2 outs, nobody on.
was talking about with the recipe to success. We talked about the leadoff guy getting on, pinch hits, hit and run, all that good stuff. You know, usually have team recipes. OU, they have good pitching. They hit balls over the fence. OU could beat you a lot of different ways. Always a sign of a good team, Max. He smokes that one up the middle. Just like this. I feel like they're never out of an inning. 2 quick outs, okay. Bloop and a blast, they're up 2.
And we saw it yesterday, just a single with 2 outs. All of a sudden, I mean, Willits runs as well as just about anybody on the roster and anybody in the league. He steals second. All of a sudden, you only need a little duck snoring, and all of a sudden, you're on the board.
You're exactly right. That's a sign of a good team.
And their 2-out hitting was electric yesterday. They were 12 for 25 with runners on base, hitting .480. Leadoff man was on 6 times in 8 innings yesterday. Leadoff man has only been on twice today for the Sooners, but they haven't cashed that in.
Never count the Sooners out of it. They could score a lot of different ways. Anytime you pass the bat to a JUCO All-American or a veteran catcher, it's always a good sign in this league.
Well, it's 11 for 11, perfect on the year, stealing bases. Carmichael at the plate. .322 hitter, bump that up 78 points when he's batting with 2 outs, though. .400 average, that's on the season.
You saw that last night as well with the 2-out RBI single to left. Would like to see Missouri be smart here. I know there's someone on first base. You know, you got to challenge some people, but you got to figure out which guys you need to challenge and which guys you need to be smart with.
Tough here, though. Right on Ryan, a walk, makes first and second, 2 outs, and all of a sudden you're getting the power of Dayton Taki, a big lefty. 3-0 is in the zone and launched out deep towards the alley in left center. It's on its way and gone. Easton Carmichael swinging away, 3-0, belts his 8th home run of the season. Just like that, 2 outs, nobody on. It's 2-0 Oklahoma now.
No, we just talked about being smart with which guys could beat you. Did think he was going to swing 3-0. Talked a lot how the Sooners could beat you a bunch of different ways. This is just a 2-seamer Broadway. Didn't miss it, Max. Smooth swing. Quickly again, 0-2 will bite you like a cat.
Carmichael entered the week leading the team in extra base hits. He's 2 for 2 with a double and a long ball today. There's an awkward 3/4 swing for Dayton Taki. So 3-0, grooved it to him, left the building. Even when it's 3-0, you can never assume it's a tank.
Veteran coach over there with Skip Johnson maybe gave him the green light, as you saw.
Especially, I mean, with 2 down in that situation, right?
Going to be the best pitch you'll see.
And good pitches to hit have been a little hard to come by in this game. Oklahoma has not trailed in the series yet. Led 3-0 yesterday early, then Mizzou answered to tie things up headed to the 5th. But it was a 13-1, excuse me, 14-1 run the rest of the way, 17-4 final. And 2-out runs, we know, can be backbreakers, but especially when on the other side, you're having to come back against Kyson Witherspoon. I mean, that has to give so much confidence to the offense for the Sooners, knowing, what, 4 runs, 3 runs maybe? You're feeling good about yourselves. 5, you're feeling like you're going to win that every time. Gotta like the way this Oklahoma rotation could line up if they're back hosting in a regional in Norman like they did last year. You think you probably hold on to Kyson for game 2, maybe either use Malachi or use Kate Crossland, who we saw last night in game 1. Maybe they split game 1, kind of piggyback each other. Could really line yourself up for some success.
It's like going to an ice cream parlor. You could basically pick whatever you want to do here. You got self options, especially with the way this OU team plays.
It's a Neapolitan.
Yeah, there we go. Here you go. A lot of different options. That's always good as a baseball team. Like we just talked about, a lot of different options at the way that they could score runs. They could beat you with defense. They could beat you with bullpen arms. They got some talent.
So 3 straight have reached. The 2 have come around to score with 2 outs. And this is hit well. Deep out towards right. Walker's just going to watch this one fly way out of here. 2 2-out, 2-run homers. Jason Walk with the 7th of the season. It's 4-0.
A little bit of a Harrison Hoya there. Ackworth, Georgia, my neck of the woods. Man, he didn't miss that one. Smooth operator there. Got himself a pitch in the wrong side. Bartender.
I mean, there was 2 outs and nobody on. Ground ball up the middle, homer, then a walk, and another bomb. That's a great stroke. I love this. First step is a hard step, and then it just stops. I know where this is ending up. What a swing from Jason Walk, the center fielder. And that's why, I mean, he's been the leadoff man most of the year, but Trey Gamble with that 500-plus OBPs taking over that role, and it has nothing to do with what Jason Walk has done or hasn't done. But now him in the 5 spot, maybe the ability now to drive in some more runs. He can hit for power. He is very much an undersized guy, but has not mattered. 5'9", $166. 7 dingers. Kyle Branch is really the only guy in this lineup that hasn't gotten going yet. He was out on the batter's interference his first time hitless in the series so far. He did score twice. He was walked and hit by a pitch yesterday. Freshman who, with Skip Johnson comparing him, you know, he's a guy who plays up the middle defense to what Jackson Willits did last year, where Willits really took till April to really catch fire. He hasn't missed a beat since. Well, this kid, Kyle Branch, came out and was just electric from the jump from opening day on. And here's a check swing, and he did go around. That will end the inning. It's a merciful end for Mizzou after, with 2 outs and nobody on, they end up giving up 2 two-out, 2-run jacks. And it's 4-0 Oklahoma just like that. Easton Carmichael with the first on a 3-0 pitch out the left center towards the uprights of the practice field. And then Jason Walk adds another. Game 1 went in that series, and maybe a little bit of a chip on the shoulder coming out for the Crimson Tide today. They felt like might have been wrong with the bases loaded last night. When they had the lead, had a chance to expand. LSU, as they so often do, just coming roaring back at home.
And that one call didn't make the game, but it felt like there was a little bit of impact with the bases loaded. Now, maybe Alabama should have played a little bit better down the stretch.
That's when good old Uncle Mo started to take a visit out to the other dugout, right? Momentum was well on the side of LSU from that moment on, really.
Alabama and Oklahoma both 8-8 in the conference.
7-8-9 coming up for Mizzou. Peyton Basler first. His first look at Kyson Witherspoon. A pretty good pitch there. 2 balls and a strike. He's punched out 3 straight. The ball has not left the infield yet against him. All 4 punch outs have been swinging. Shakes off Carmichael once. Works exclusively from the stretch. The 2-1 is cut on and missed. Boy, tied him up with that slider in.
Anytime you're throwing a breaking ball on a heater count, aka 2-1, 3-1, 1-0, 2-0, and you get a swing and miss, that thing is nasty.
Down he goes. 4 straight strikeouts for Kyson Witherspoon.
Now you're going to see a little bit different here. The one before 2-1 to get him back to 2-2 was a little bit more of a hard, sharp cutter. This one's got a big one. This is a big curveball up to down, showing the whole arsenal here early. 4 in a row.
Usually that curve is something he really just uses as a change of pace pitch, the newest to the arsenal for his lefties. Well, you see it here, and it's a put-away pitch. 12-6 with a lot of dip to it. So 5 Ks, 4 in a row, still all swinging. J.D. Hernandez, the catcher now. And boy, if he could steal a strike like that, I know that just missed, was ruled a little up, but first pitch slider, if he could steal that at the top of the zone, that puts you real behind the 8 ball at the plate.
As soon as you step in the box, it's go, man. I know you have a plan and an approach, but be ready to go at all times.
There we go. 1-0. Just blows it right past him at 96.
You don't see any balls going to the backstop, Max. They're around the zone. He is a strike thrower, as you see all these scouts in the stands. And it's firm, and it's sharp, and it's quick. You better be ready as soon as you step in there.
That's a miss upstairs, but
of course,
that's a pitch he's been getting swings on.
Sure.
That's how Seals went down. We saw Brock Daniels chase something up there. Same with Patterson. I mean, the former catcher in you, how nice is it to catch somebody like this who's got a 5-pitch mix, but very much in control at command of just about all 5 offerings.
This is one of these games as a catcher.
This is hit sharply towards third. Nice play on the forehand side by Willis. And it's still perfect. 8 up, 8 down.
This is one of these games as a catcher where I do not want to be noticed, not one bit. This is the Kyson Witherspoon show. I'm just catching it and throwing it back, trying to give it maybe a couple suggestions on a curveball or slider, maybe a couple long ABs, but this guy is overpowering, efficient, aggressive. Just catch it and throw it back.
That was far and away the hardest contact we've seen from a Tiger so far. 2 outs, nobody on for Garrett Goldbeck, DH, his first at bat of the series. Right back towards us, at the top of the screen.
I would have had it.
You still got it in you, I know.
Still got it. Attacking the zone, attacking the zone. We saw Cade Crossland yesterday get 0-2. Didn't have enough finish yesterday or maybe the right location to get some guys out quick, but you see how quickly they get to 0-2, and then he uses that premier spin slash heater slash whatever he's feeling, honestly.
That was the curveball, and it clocked in the high 70s.
I could see it throwing again here.
You squared a bunt, pull back. That gets called in the zone. It's 0-2. Kyson Witherspoon just dominating this first time through the lineup.
There it is.
Got to appreciate the idea. Curveball probably trying to spike it.
For sure.
If he can continue to develop that pitch and maybe improve the changeup a little bit. Got the potential to be a future front-end starter. 1-2 the count. And Goldbeck fight that off and stay alive.
That was 97, Max. Probably the firmest one we've seen today.
So he's seen 78 and he's seen 97 so far.
Obviously a little tardy. I think most hitters are in college on 97. Gonna see what he goes with here. I'm not sure what I would call maybe heater at the top of the zone. I think throwing him a breaking ball might do him a favor, but if he spins that thing well down, might get a swing and miss.
Goldbeck hits one on the ground right to the second baseman. Boy, Branch can't handle it, and he's got no play. That's how Mizzou gets their first base runner of the day. It's the second time a ground ball has eaten up Kyle Branch this series. He's able to stay with the first one last night and still get it out. This looked pretty routine on the turf off the bat. Did take a big hop there when it hit, I'll say quote unquote, the lip there in the turf.
Correct.
Between infield and infield grass.
There is that common ground where you're on the grass, but I think he was a little bit expecting to keep that ball down. Been pressing at the plate, only guy to not kind of get going. See what Missouri could do.
First time throwing with a man on base for Kyson Witherspoon. The guy who's able to rack up the strikeouts, but still limit the pitch count at times because it just comes so easy. He's thrown at least 90 pitches in all of his starts this year. But he's a guy who can really work deep into games. Second time facing the leadoff man, Keegan Knutson, who popped up, hit foul ground right towards his own dugout. That was the stellar play from Dawson Willis back in the first inning. So 4 spot, all with 2 outs for Oklahoma in the top of this inning. 2-run blasts from Carmichael and from Ward. That was in on the hands at 96. There's just nothing you can do if you swing at that.
I guarantee someone on Coach Skip Johnson's staff will grab Kyle Branch and just, hey, settle down a little bit. You know, you can definitely tell he took the at-bat out to the field, took a weird hop, but that's a play he's made 100 out of 100 times. Just get him to realize, hey, man, we're winning this game. Take a deep breath. The next ball will come to you, I promise. How fast can you move on to the next play? You know, baseball, everyone thinks it's a slow sport. Comes at you fast, especially when you're not playing well.
And it always just feels like right after you've made a mistake, that's when you have to expect the ball to come your way.
Exactly. Figure out who wants to play when stuff's going wrong. I know we talked about on the call with Coach Jackson. I said, you know, you guys aren't winning many games, but you figure out who loves baseball, really. You figure out which guys want to be there early, which guys want to be there late. OU, same thing. It's all gravy when you're winning, but when you're battling and made a couple errors.
Knutson jams this into shallow center field. Going back is Willett. Still going back. Makes the over-the-shoulder grab. And that will end the inning. That's pretty much the only thing that hasn't gone Oklahoma's way. That little glove flip in center. When we come back, we're talking to Skip Johnson, whose team is looking for a 3rd straight win this week. back here in Columbia, Missouri, where Oklahoma's been staked out to a 4-0 lead. Two-run homers at the top of that third inning, and we're thankful to be joined by Skip Johnson and Coach Easton Carmichael. It's runner at first, 2 outs, an inning that didn't look like it was going anywhere, and then 3-0. Take me through that approach and that swing.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of our best hitters, and going to get a fastball there, and why not give him the green light? And so it's a good moment for him for sure.
We'll say all the credits to you, Dylan Kelly, up here in the booth. Talk to me about Kyle Branch. That ball just ate him up here. What's the, I know somebody on your staff's going to probably, preach a little mentality. Talk to me about that.
I think it's more not mentality. I think it's more just about being present from, he had a tough at bat and taking his lumber out to his leather and not being present. And you got to play defense. There's 2 sides of the ball, a defensive side and an offensive side of the ball. And so you got to make sure you're present on both sides of the ball.
You're exactly right. Great one-liner there, Coach. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, guys.
There's a base hit up the middle for Sam Christensen, who has put a ball in play for the first time in this series, and he's on base for a 7th time. Not even been a game and a half. It's been an on-base machine.
Guys wearing out the first base line over there.
Bringing the lumber out to the leather.
Bingo.
We were talking about it yesterday. One-liner king, Skip Johnson. That was a good one. And he's so realistic, too, especially when it comes to 18 to 20-year-olds. But the freshmen, right? If you got a freshman out there, mistakes are going to happen. You got an 18-year-old playing second base and starting every single game in the SEC.
A testament to his staff. I know someone probably said, hey, that can't happen again. And they move on. Can't let it linger. He knows what he's doing. He's been around this thing.
This game, you got to have that short-term memory, right? You just got to move on and get past it. Although for Oklahoma, the way they're playing right now, maybe you want to remember everything. Just about everything's going well. Drew Dickerson grounded into a 5-3 double play his first time out. Generally, he's been starting versus lefties, but getting a chance to start probably, you'd guess, all 3 games in this series. Because Desan Harris did not travel with the team. He's back in Norman with an illness. Really the only changes in the lineup day in and day out in terms of pieces in or out of the lineup is Dickerson or Harris, depending on if it's a lefty or a righty you're facing. They rotate in at DH. And this is hit well past the dive of the shortstop, Knutson. That's the 4th hit of the series for the kid from just down the road.
A lot of different ways to be, a lot of ways to wreak havoc. Right fielder, knock. DH, knock. Hey, we talked about this. The game will find you. This is a situation that we saw Mr. Dawson Willis struggle with some sack bunts. He's got to be called upon him to do it again. See if he does a little bit better today.
Hold back of the ball in the dirt. Who's just going to touch on for Dickerson? I mean, the career day yesterday. He was out for his last 10 going back to the LSU series. Then career best 3 hits, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs scored.
Just needed to get back to the home state.
One of 2 kids from the Show Me State on this OU roster. 2 balls and no strikes. There's no let up in this lineup. Dawson Willis is only hitting .235 right now, but guy who's looking a little bit more comfortable, at least when he's swinging away in this series.
Sure.
He's looked uncomfortable, certainly trying to sacrifice. But he's in the driver's seat here, and that's ball 3.
It's a smart move there. So let's talk about this. Coach Skip Johnson has been around the game like we've talked about. Sack bunt, first pitch, ball. Pitcher, defense sees that. They still think it's going to be a bunt. He takes it off, gives you a free heater is what they call that. And it was unfortunately a ball, but giving his player the best chance to succeed.
That is ball 4, and that is the 7, 8, and 9 spots in the order, reaching consecutively to begin this 4th inning. Told you about the free passes yesterday. Well, this is what Mizzou has done with walks and hit batsmen by series. I mean, 35 in that series down in Fayetteville, where Arkansas was just all over Missouri. They outscored them 51-9. Put up a 50 burger in the series is what their social media was saying after that one. So Christensen, Dickerson, and Willis aboard. Nobody out. Tim Jamison out of the Mizzou dugout. And Dylan, right now, this is a game that Mizzou has to be feeling like could slip away right now.
It's funny, it does feel like that, but he's also had pretty good success against this leadoff man coming to the dish. Let's see if Trey can make an adjustment.
Third time through the order for Jacoby. And he has had Gamble's number more so than anybody else. 0 for 2 with 2 Ks for Gamble. Entered today with 13 strikeouts on the season. Corners in, middle infield back, outfield straight away. And this is ball 5 in a row, low and inside. It was the second walk of the afternoon for Jacoby.
So let's go inside the hitter's mind here. Not the best 2 at-bats for him to start. Got a sinker baller, bases loaded. Gonna need to see the ball up in the zone and hit it in the outfield like that. Gonna need to see the ball elevated. Sinker ballers comes out of their hand. It starts down, it's gonna stay down, right, Mac? That's gravity. Isaac Newton, shout out to that guy. If the ball is up in the zone, that's the one you wanna go after or attack.
Shout out to Isaac Newton.
Didn't you think you were gonna get that today?
1 ball, 1 strike.
There it is, starts down, stays down.
So Trey Campbell had a season high of 2 RBIs, a feat he had only accomplished twice on the year, and both in the non-con, before he had 6 RBIs last night. Well, the table is set with him with nobody out in this 4th inning. And now it's 3 balls and a strike. Boy, a walk is a run, but you grew something to Gamble right now. Near Gamble in the chance of this lead doubling.
Whoa! Nice.
Waited as long as I could. The 3-1. Off the end of the bat, slowly rolled towards first. Been a little off kilter in this matchup. Trey Gamble, well, this is what he did yesterday. It's the first pitch of the 3rd inning, that elevated heater. Yard out to right center, and then this one is the hanging breaking ball that was destroyed.
Gonna need to battle here.
Biggest pitch of the day, and Campbell takes it out the other way. Eight hits for Oklahoma, leading to 4 runs. Mizzou is hitless so far. They've had 1 base runner. It came on a 2-out error and a ground ball to second last half inning. Another payoff to Gamble. And he goes down swinging. 3rd time he's been punched out today.
The old hat trick to start the day after a record night. It's a sinker. Didn't really track it all that well. Missouri, after that mound visit, takes that. Now they're 1 pitch away from a double play, Max.
When you got a sinker baller out there, you feel like you got a decent chance to induce a ground ball. If you're Missouri, you're hoping it's just right at somebody. Inside to Jackson Willits. Singled and scored back in the 3rd inning.
I'll say this too. When you look at the righty on the mound, Caden, excuse me, Caden. That was a fumble by my part.
He got there.
When he doesn't rush, there's kind of bases jammed, or he slows down. Look at the time in between pitches. Sometimes when he gets 1 or 2 guys on, he likes to try to go a little faster. Right now, I feel like he's just kind of taking it pitch by pitch. With the last punch out there, different feel to him.
Willits looking for his first hit of the year with the bases loaded, and he's going to find it. Shoots it out the other way into left center. That's going to score a pair. It's 6-0 Sooners on a 2-run double from Jackson Willits.
Talking about his demeanor. Can't let this one leak out over the dish. Tried to sink it again, front door. And deposits it to left center. 2 runs will score for OU.
Up to 36 runs batted in on the season. And he gives way to Easton Carmichael. Was doubled and homered off of Jacoby already today. He's up to 38 RBIs, the team leader. Pounds this right off his front foot. Got a chance with a base hit to be the first Sooner to 40 ribbies. 2 hits yesterday, 2 hits today. Hit here would also be his 50th of the season. He'll try to shake it off. Sure, he's happy to have Mudler back and healthy, dealing with that shoulder injury. The backup catcher who got to come in late last night in the 17-4 win in 8 innings. Six unanswered to begin the game for Oklahoma. really hasn't even felt like Kyson Witherspoon has been out there on the mound much at all. Time of possession, if you will, just dominated by the Oklahoma offense. The 0-1. He's down in the count, 0-2. We'll see if Jacoby, he'd love to get another strikeout with a man at third.
I'd love to see Missouri be smart. Make some quality pitches ahead in the count.
Got that wide setup with 2 strikes. Not much of a load, and looks at 1 away. The mentality and approach of a guy who's not going to strike out a lot, even in the heart of the order. Up to 8 RBIs in his last 10 games, including this one here today. I don't talk about it too much, but one of the added benefits of having turf around home plate, you don't have to do a whole lot of that. Not much brushing it off, right? Check that one in the pro column. Good battle brewing between Jacoby and Carmichael. The Sooners catchers made loud contact twice already in this matchup, and Jadier Hernandez could call timing.
That was very awkward there. Like, I know they couldn't see this at home. Guy on third base kind of flinched like he was going to take off. And Mr. Hernandez just kind of stood up like abruptly when Jacoby was in his set. I don't know. I didn't really like. That was kind of weird. Watch how abrupt this happens. He flashes, and then at the same time he does that, the catcher kind of stands up and puts his arms up. And you're supposed to be very deliberate on the mound, Max, as you know, where a small little flinch could cause a run. It's very awkward there.
It's a veteran move. Good save by Hernandez, trying to keep the composure of Jacoby in this crucial spot. Another 2-strike pitch to Carmichael. That one bounces right on top of the plate. And there will be no play at home. Late to cover there was Jacoby, and sliding it headlong. Save is Dawson Willis, who can just fly.
Another OU, another way they could beat you. They run the bases very well. This is a wild pitch here. Good little hop step, read it in the dirt, turf, whatever you want to call it. Safe.
2-2 count. Good plate appearance here from Easton Carmichael. And he drives one out to center. It's right at Pierre, but plenty deep enough to bring home another run. So the wild pitch scores 1. And then the sac fly from Carmichael brings home Willits. RBI number 39 of the season for the junior catcher.
First baseman, number 16, Dave Kentucky.
So 3 RBIs in the last 2 innings for Carmichael, and now there's 2 outs and the base is empty, but it's back-to-back 4 spots from OU.
All right, talk this guy up. Mr. Talkie in the open. Let's see if he can deposit one here too. That's some funky swings, couple 2-seamers he didn't like, swung through. A little 2-out lightning here for OU. Maybe get something up in the zone after a wonky inning from Missouri pitching staff.
Last 2 innings have kind of been Oklahoma offensively in a nutshell, right? 2 long balls, they could do that. With their 40th home run of the season earlier in the week, but they don't rely on it too heavily, and they put up 4 runs in this inning. Couple of singles and a walk from 7, 8, 9 in the orders at the table. Willits and Carmichael combined for 3 RBIs. A wild pitch brings home another.
It's complimentary baseball, Max. They do it so well, man. They play good D and they do good hit. They hit well. The weekly ground ball to second here.
Basler from the cut of the outfield grass gets the out at first. 7 sent up to the plate. 4 come around to score for Oklahoma. Middle of the 4th. It's 8-0 Sooners.
It's electric stuff, as advertised, as they would say.
Mizzou at the plate. They are combined 0 for 10 with 5 strikeouts. The ball has still yet to leave the infield. Against the junior right-hander. There's a nasty slider again. That's how he starts out. Jackson Lovich, who was his first strikeout victim back in the first inning. 2 hits, no runs allowed last week in that 7-inning complete game. Didn't walk a batter that day. Hasn't walked a batter today. Infield shaded just a little bit to the pull side of the Tigers' first baseman. We read all about him coming into this start for Kyson Witherspoon. You watch him a lot, you look at highlights, and maybe the pitch that could take him to the next level is that curveball that's the newest of the 5 offerings. Hasn't thrown a lot of them today. Really only features to lefties naturally, and described as a change of pace pitch and relatively new, but when he's gone to it, it's been with 2 strikes, and it's been a great out pitch.
You're exactly right. That slider there was nasty as well. He's been mixing and matching very well so far today.
1-2 to Lovich. Slider way outside, almost got the chase, but he's chucking frisbees up here to righties. What does that set up? You go slider away, get a swing into his slider further outside.
I think you can go heater up here. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Like we've talked about options, man. You could. This is like a video game. You can go heater up here at the top of the zone. I think you might get a chase because, as you saw from the flinch with the slider away, I think they might just stick with the slider here. Nope. 96 at the top of the zone, like I said.
That is the pitch that Lovich loves because he's a long, lean kid. When he can get extension on outside pitches, especially fastballs, that's when he's at his absolute best, hitting those backside homers to right.
I think you might see a fake shake heater here. I'm going to call this one. Let's see if he fake shake. There is the one shake. Okay, here we go. If this is a heater, get yourself a lottery ticket. Fake shake slider.
There you go. I thought you were right on the money there.
That thing's tight, man. That thing is firm, and it's a small little shape to it just to get the hitter off at a heater. Hard to get the heater off when it's 97 as well.
Maybe the most impressive plate appearance against Kyson Witherspoon today. At least 7 pitches.
And this is what Missouri has to do against a guy like this. You can't go up there try to go power for power with this guy. You got to battle, foul some of his good pitches off. Don't chase. And then when you get into a heater count, don't miss the heater. I know I'm making that sound simple, but when you're fighting uphill, not going to have much success.
8th pitch of the at-bat inbound. Here it comes. And it's ball 4 upstairs. It's the first walk in 15 days for Kyson Witherspoon. He had gone a couple starts this year where he's gone 7 innings and not walked a single batter. That's what he did last week for his Vandy. Maybe that gets something going in the right direction for this Mizzou offense.
Going to be a little tough on Caden Pierre here. Would really like for him to kind of settle in. Yesterday and today hasn't seen many pitches, and he's been up there. If you're going to be ready to go, be ready to go.
And that's drilled deep out towards right field. It's down the line. It's fair and gone. A leadoff walk to Lovich, and then Caden Pierre comes through. It's our 3rd 2-run homer of the day. It's the 4th of the year for Caden Pierre. That's Mizzou's first hit of the ballgame.
Like I said, if you're going to be in there, get ready to go. Yesterday and today, he's kind of tried to jump every pitcher he's been in. He finally gets something out over the dish and smokes it. Very nice.
It's a great shot from the side. It's like the reverse Carlton Fisk. It's the lefty begging for it to stay fair. Seals struck out, swinging his first time up. He was the first of 4 straight strikeout victims of Kyson Witherspoon. So Mizzou getting the ball going back in the right direction. Finally, some offense showing up.
Let's talk about it. You take good pitches, you get walked after a good at-bat, and then he's going to make a mistake, and you don't miss it. Like I said, it sounds simple. You can't try to attack this guy on the mound with power. He will beat you every time.
Caden Pierre is a guy that Garrett Jackson's talked about. Really has all the tools in the bag. He's another kind of undersized center fielder, similar to Jason Walk on the other side, who's got the power, though. Only weighs 185 pounds. He is tall. Seals chases again. That's about a shoulder-high 97-mile-an-hour fastball. It's the second time he's gone down swinging against that pitch. 6 Ks. And how about it, Dylan? It's still all swinging.
I couldn't agree more, yeah. It's tough to try to learn in the middle of conference play what's going to happen, but very evident this guy's got electric stuff. Do not chase. Like, man, he's throwing 97. I got to chase. I'm late. That means you got to pick one pitch and don't miss it. Like that. Good swing,
That's
96.
more the fastball you're looking to try to do something with at the
Correct.
knees versus up and way out of the zone.
Correct. When it's in the zone, you better be ready to hit it. When it's out of the zone, you better be ready to take it.
So I mentioned earlier the average is 19.2 inches of induced vertical break on the mid to high 90s fastball. There it is, up and out of the zone at 97, no swing on the appeal. Anything above 18 inches, the big league level is considered above average. If you can get to 20, that's when we're starting to talk about elite.
You're exactly right. Spinning that thing.
And that's when it's really looking like it's rising on you.
They call that perceived velocity when, you know, maybe you see a guy on TV throwing 91, 92. You got guys swinging and missing like it's 96. The extension, the spin rate of the fastball or the slider, elite, like you said.
Even better when it jumps on you because it's 97 and it's feeling faster.
Correct.
1-2 the count to Chris Patterson, the freshman. In a tough spot here. With a foul one back.
And I'm just going to be honest, this is the difference between pro ball and SEC. They're both sometimes very close, depending on who's pitching in that day. You're not going to get many heaters in the zone. I'm going to be honest, when I was playing professional baseball, if I missed 2 heaters in an at-bat, I was playing defense here quickly. When you get those heaters, you got to be ready for them. You don't get more than 2 mistakes in an at-bat at the next level.
Went for the curveball there, right on right. Just lost it out of the hands. Got a loose baseball on the Tigers bullpen. 8-2 game. Oklahoma's out hit Mizzou 9-1 today. Oklahoma hangs on. It'll be their 4th SEC Series win in their first 6 ever in the conference. But also put Mizzou on the cusp of what would be a 6th straight sweep. It would potentially fall to 0-18 by the end of the day if things don't go their way.
I like this at bat from Chris Patterson. Missed a couple heaters. Now he's shortened up a little bit. Trying to hit a mistake. And he hasn't made many.
Lights are on because of the overcast skies. It's only 1:15 here in the Central Time Zone. Another lengthy at bat, just like Lovich's earlier. This one served out of play. This is more the Mizzou offense we saw yesterday against the Oklahoma starter at Kate Crosswood, who threw well over 100 pitches yesterday, only to get 15 outs. 107 pitches, only 4 strikeouts because he just kept getting ahead of guys but didn't have the put-away stuff. Tyson Witherspoon has absolutely had the put-away stuff today, just less so in this inning. But he gets his first backwards K of the afternoon. Strikeout number 7 of the ball game for the junior from Jacksonville.
This is another quality slider here. Kind of knew it was coming. Not as quality as you think, kind of popped out of his hand. Just a different shape to show the hitter after a couple foul balls.
And it's tough because that high fastball's been really appetizing out of the hand. Nobody's put really any kind of wood on it. But you see a pitch out that high and then it just sneaks onto the top of the strike zone. Foul ball off the bat of Brock Daniels. Chance for Kyson Witherspoon to strike out the side for a second time. Leadoff walk, then the home run to Caden Peer, but he has bounced back tremendously, which is just as you would expect. There's that high fastball. This is the first one that's gone back to the backstop. Kyson Witherspoon, the junior, JUCO transfer from Northwest Florida State College. Great program down there in the Sunshine State. It's got to be great. We were talking about recruiting yesterday and recruiting the JUCO ranks for Oklahoma. Got 16 transfers, 11 from the junior college ranks. But when you can recruit 2 twins who are immediately entering your weekend rotation.
You got to think about it like an NFL team. When you draft a guy in the first or second round, those guys better be ready to play. Anytime you pick up a junior college guy, you better be ready to play. It's going to be a tough play at first. Good athlete there. Nice play.
Yeah, Taki with the throw, a little offline, but good footwork and rearing back to make the snag for Kyson Witherspoon. And a great start for Oklahoma to take you through the scoring summary. Easton Carmichael on a 3-0 pitch with 2 outs leaves the building. That scores 2. Jason Walk does the same 2 batters later. And the very next inning, how about the opposite field approach from Jackson Willits, who drives in 2 with the Texas A&M. They're playing today after they played a doubleheader yesterday. That was 2 thrillers, 2 gut-wrenching defeats. The Hope Tigers had a grand slam in the 6th yesterday to go ahead, then lost in the 7th. Lost game 2 of the doubleheader on a solo shot in the 9th. 4-3 was the final. Jason Walk, the center fielder. He had a 2-run shot his last time up. Tomorrow at 3:30, also got on ABC the 4 on the floor in gymnastics. The national championship featuring 4 programs, including Oklahoma and Missouri. Oh, and who was the national champ on beam last night? Jason Walk was really able to stand and admire that home run last time up. Out towards right field, he takes a strike here on a 2-0 pitch. So Jacoby, 4 innings, 8 runs. They were all earned. Gave up 9 hits, walked 2, and struck out 4. 73 pitches to go, get 12 outs. That's on the inside edge. Good job battling back to even up the count for Josh Kirchhoff. Junior, the transfer from Iowa Central Community College. Deals home and just off the corner. Oklahoma's had the leadoff man on 3 straight innings. This is yanked foul towards the first base dugout. 4 spot in each of the last 2 frames offensively for the Sooners. Walk, Branch, and Christensen, 5, 6, and 7 coming up here in the 5th. Payoff pitch is inside for a ball. That's the 3rd time aboard for Jason Walk, center fielder who could fly. It's the 3rd walk drawn by the Sooners offense as well. Jason Walk, you saw the power on display earlier. We talked about the size, 5'9", 166 pounds. Well, the way he could track it down, the way he could slug and run the bases. A couple days ago, we asked Skip Johnson, hey, is there anybody that this kid reminds you of? And he was, I would say, pretty emotional in his response because he harkened it all the way back to his time in the late 90s. A kid by the name of Brian Cole, and it's a very emotional story. Got a huge lead over there at first base. This pitch is low. But Cole, it's a great story about him. Called the best player you never saw. He was written and published by Sports Illustrated. He's a high school player in Mississippi who on the gridiron averaged 12 yards a carry, was getting recruited by the likes of Florida State, Tennessee, Nebraska for football, while also setting the state record with 22 home runs in a season. And he became the first Mississippi high school player ever, going all the way back to the 1920s, to hit 4 home runs in a game. All being, he was 5'8", $160. Pretty much the same size as the man occupying first base for Oklahoma. That's off the end of the bat, foul, and then got Hernandez in a tough spot. So he wound up being the 36th or a 36th round pick of the 1997 draft. Because at grades, he wound up playing football at Navarro Junior College, which is very notable because after his football season in the fall, his head coach, Keith Thomas, went over and introduced him to the baseball coach. And he went over and took his first work in the outfield, basically with his pads on. Had to take him off, was still wet from practice. Baseball coach for that Navarro Junior College team, That was one Skip Johnson. So that's where the introduction began. That's where the story begins for the skipper for Oklahoma. He played one JUCO season, hit .524. More than doubled the program record in homers. Left the building 27 times in 60 games while stealing 49 bases, scoring 95 times, and driving in 82. Just a ridiculous line for the year. Branch fights this off. Still ball with 2 strikes.
You know what they call those in junior college, Max?
What do they call?
Call them Christmas presents when a guy walks into your door like that. So a testament to his talent, a testament to Skip Johnson giving him a shot.
Brian Cole wanted to beat an 18th round pick by the Mets. Was in their system from 1998 through 2000. Here's a swing and a miss and a strikeout for the first out of the afternoon, recorded by Kirchhoff. It's been a tough afternoon at the office for the freshman second baseman for Oklahoma.
Nice slider there. Missouri will take it any way they can get it here.
So just to continue with the story, Sam Christensen comes up. In those 3 years, the Mets org, he hit .306, drove in 193 while stealing 135 bases. Keep in mind, 5'8", 160 pounds. The Mets front office at the time was saying, we're building around 3 guys. Our core is going to be David Wright, Jose Reyes, and Brian Cole. But then Brian Cole tragically passed away, driving from his home to meet the team in Double-A. This is going to be an out at second base. Caught stealing. Jason Walk immediately motioning to the dugout, and Skip Johnson is going to ask for a review here.
I think he beat it there. That tag, in my opinion, looked like it was on his hip, Max. I think his hand might have got in there. Let's take a look here. It's a good strong throw. Yeah, I think his hand gets in. Yep. And they get him on the hip.
Yeah, this will be very expedited, you would imagine. This should be a stolen base for Jason Walk.
Yep. Should be overturned here pretty quickly.
Just as we're talking about the stolen bases from Matt, was compared to with Brian Cole. So that's really where the heartbreaking nature of the story is. And you could tell that's an incredible comparison for Skip Johnson to make. Because Skip said, hey, that's the best kid I ever saw play. Small, undersized center fielder, could slug, could hit for power, could run the bases, had an incredible work ethic.
The run at second is safe.
There you hear it from.
I'm sorry, Oklahoma retains the challenge.
Oh, boy, is that Freudian? Omaha instead of Oklahoma. Maybe paint a picture of what's down the line to come for this thriving Oklahoma side. Maybe he thought the tag was applied there, maybe on the back of the helmet before it got to the back of the legs. 0-1 the count to Christensen. He takes low and inside. But so it's a heartbreaking conclusion of that story. But if you read the article, the best player you never saw, there's some incredible anecdotes this year that Walk a major reason for this chaos on the base paths. Kirchhoff from the stretch, glove at the chest, here he comes. Pulled on the ground towards Lovich at first, flips back to the pitcher covering, they get the out. As Walk moves up to third. But some great anecdotes. CC Sabathia is a first-round pick, an 18-year-old. The whole Cleveland Indians organization front office came to watch him play. In one of his first starts, he faced Brian Cole. He mowed through the lineup, but Cole got him for 2 hits. The next time he faced him in a 6-inning dominant performance from CC, he put one off the scoreboard. The game with a big lefty. Only allowed 3 hits in the contest. You got Heath Bell with great stories in there. Albert Pujols and CC Sabathia called him the greatest player that baseball fans never got to see.
I thought you did a great job telling that story, Max.
I appreciate it. I really wanted to read all about it because rarely do you ask somebody, and it was very fortunate and lucky in our case that we asked about a comparison that got a tremendous story. We get it quickly. There was the funnier part of his story. There's a kid named Mark Hamilton who was a reliever in the Mets organization who said the scout in the Mets organization that was at the brunt of him getting drafted by New York came up to him after he got drafted. He said, hey, I saw you pitch 1 inning in 1 game back when you were a freshman. You struck out Brian Cole. That's why we drafted you. That's how incredible he was. It's
like a unicorn.
It's like listening to, fish stories where everything just keeps growing, but it's all true. That was ripped on a hop right into the third base dugout up the bat of the freshman, Drew Dickerson.
See if he could stay hot as well. I know the people at home probably enjoyed that story just as much as I did. OU still foot on the gas, guy on third base. See if they can cash this in.
They've done a ton of their damage today and in this series with 2 outs. Dickerson trying to continue that trend. He's worked it full. Over 20 pitches in this inning. The first in relief for Josh Kirchhoff. OU with the win. Not only do they win this series, they move above 500 to 9-8 in the SEC. Dickerson, that's just another quality plate appearance from a young freshman in this OU lineup. They're at the corners. He's reached it back-to-back innings. And now Dawson Willis will have a crack at Kirchhoff with 2 down. So 2 men aboard. They both reached on walks. 4 walks today after Mizzou allowed 9 last night and hit 5 batters. They lead the SEC in walks, hit batsmen, home runs allowed as well, and ERA. 4 for 7 so far with 2 outs. It's piggybacking off a great day yesterday, where they were 4 for 11 and 364. I mean, it's easy to win if you're getting the leadoff man on consistently and getting the job done with 2 outs.
Sounds like a good recipe. Being smart here, throwing some pretty good sliders. No one's biting on them. Doesn't mean you need to come into the zone. Just keep making pitchers pitches. If you're going to give up a hit or give up a run, it better be on your best pitch, Max.
That's been more and more in vogue of late. You think about the Tampa Bay Rays being at the big forefront of that. You're going to get beat. Get beat on your best pitch.
Exactly.
If you're Devin Williams, big high leverage count, they're going to get a hit. Throw that changeup. Right?
Pete Fairbanks, also former Missouri alum, splitter. Nasty throwing it 100. Nasty.
This is a hot shot right to third. Chris Patterson, self-preservation to make that correct. Oklahoma doesn't score. They leave men at the corners. Halfway home here at Taylor Stadium. It's 8-2 in favor of Oklahoma. Halfway home near it, game 1 of the doubleheader between all Oklahoma. 8-2 the score. That one hit, a home run from Caden Pierre that brought home 2 runs last inning for the home Tigers. And legitimately, it just still does not feel like Tyson Witherspoon has been gracing the rubber too frequently today. He's been efficient. He's been virtually untouchable with the exception of 1 mistake. 59 pitches through 4 innings. He's got 7, 8, 9 due up here. It's Basler first, who takes high at 95. Oklahoma team that can beat you in many different ways. We saw a very complete all-around performance yesterday. Defensively, on the mound, running the bases, and at the plate. See more of the power in the sticks today after they got some surprise juice from Gamble. The multi-homer game yesterday. Long balls from Carmichael and a walk. Or your staple kind of power bats in the heart of the order. Basler struck out swinging his first time up. He led off the 3rd inning. He cuts through a little tardy on that fastball. Jason Walk. How do you feel about that sunglass look? Is that one you, I guess you were a catcher, so you really couldn't rock it like that.
Correct. I couldn't rock it like that, but I will tell you some affiliation, some orgs will tell you, hey, you need to wear them like that so they don't cover up the logo. You know, that looks crazy. We're seeing some of that, but that seems a little outrageous. But hey, when you start parking them over the wall, you can wear them however you want to wear them. And quickly 1 out here as you blowing cheese.
And mark at 8, dude. That's 8 runs for Oklahoma offensively. That's 8 Ks on the mound for Kyson Witherspoon. He had 5 Ks the first time through the order. He's got 3 so far through the second. J.D. Hernandez, the catcher, up there. Boy, he was trying to hit a 6-run homer.
You talked about not trying to go power on power. I appreciate an 0-0 healthy hack. Now he needs to trim it down here.
I know we always hear about not trying to do too much when you're facing a guy who throws that hard, right? Let the velo coming in create velo and power coming out. But when you're a hitter, I mean, how tough is that? to physically accomplish and to have the mental approach to do.
I think it comes with a lot of maturity. It also comes with a lot of failure, right? You got to realize when you keep doing it the same way over and over again, and you're not getting any, greater of a result. Hey, maybe just toning it down and try to hit a single up the middle right off the pitcher's head or right over his head. Use that as a strength.
Scooped in the air out towards Christensen, who takes control for out number 2. Witherspoon went 3 up, 3 down in the first and the second. Would have done so in the third as well without the 2-out error. So I'll go back to it. That's only the second ball that's left the infield. First was the homer. Garrett Goldbeck is the one who hit that ground ball to Kyle Branch at second that he could not glove cleanly. It'll be a very fun day for Kyson Witherspoon at the ballpark. If he can continue this gem, get the win, and then go into the dugout and watch his twin brother trying to match him.
Sounds like a good day.
I'm sure they're super competitive. They've played their whole lives together. They both transferred to Oklahoma. Joining the rotation immediately over the weekend as what is generally non-Easter week, Saturday, Sunday guys. It's a rotation that doesn't necessarily have your best guy going day one on a Friday night. 2-0 to Goldbeck. Dumps it back foul to the screen. Charting pitches in the background there, you think, on that Etch-a-Sketch?
Possibly. Etch-a-Sketch. I haven't seen that since Toy Story.
I don't think it was an Etch-a-Sketch, but it looked more like, I don't know,
technology.
Some youthful technology. Maybe it was an iPad. I don't know. It'd be really hard to chart on one of those. 3 balls and 1 strike. 1 walk so far for Kyson today. He was to lead off the last inning. 8-pitch at bat between him and Jackson Lovich. Goldbeck able to foul away a high fastball. He's a coach's kid up there hanging tough. Taking that practice swing like a Ty Cobb effort with the big distance between the hands.
Split grip, as they call it.
Yeah, split grip. You don't see a lot of that.
You see that in softball.
That is bat to ball. That's how you get that kind of average. 3-2. And this is laced right back into center. Just the second hit of the afternoon for Mizzou. Short.
Thank you. It was nice. This is what I'm talking about. This is power on power, but just a smooth, sweet swing, right? The objective is to get a hit, right? You're playing a game. You're trying to win the game. Doing this over and over again. Just a nice, smooth swing up the middle. That was rifled off the bat.
Great swing from your 9-hole hitter as well. See if Mizzou can muster up a little 2-out magic. Kyson Witherspoon hasn't drawn with guys on base too often today or this year, really. Does a good job of controlling the run game, though. Houston Carmichael threw out a couple of would-be base stealers yesterday. Back ready to go. Even with the million foul balls we saw yesterday, your car came out A-okay?
Yes, thank you.
JD Hernandez hit about 10 that way.
Don't put that voodoo on me. It did.
You got to park deep in the corner, and you got to park facing away from the ballpark. So if it gets you on the back windshield.
That's exactly right.
These are the things you think about when you're pulling up to a baseball ballpark, especially when you're coming as early as we do. You get the pick of the lot. That's what the whole production room say. Hey, we get here 3 hours before these guys. What do they mean get here early? Game 1 of a doubleheader. Game 2 of the day, Game 3 of the series. The finale will come just about 45 minutes after this first one concludes. It's a rope towards the third base dugout. David Knudsen is 0 for 2, fly out to short and a third. One a third was the one at foul ground. It's back-to-back innings. I mean, all things relative, that Kyson Witherspoon has at least labored a little bit. 2 misses up high.
He's having to work here. You're right, Max. He's having to work. Just not as clean as the first couple innings. Gotten some foul balls. Some good at-bats from Missouri as their bats have started to put together some quality ABs.
We were talking about how this OU rotation over the weekend lines up. There's a long pause in the pitch home. Lunged out and hacked out of play. Still a ball and 2 strikes. It's also nice from a bullpen perspective if you think about, hey, we're going to get our guys in on Friday, our best high leverage guys. We didn't see Crooks yesterday, which was kind of a de facto Friday, if you will. And then you bring out Kyson Witherspoon, who last week, no reliever necessary. That works so deep into the game. So then you have your best arms fresh and ready to go again. Pretty much everybody geared up and ready to go for Game 3 of a series. You can see there's almost a little bit of extra effort when it's the curveball.
Sure, yeah. That was the first one he's actually thrown to a right-handed hitter as well.
It's a little bit of frustration. He slipped a couple of them.
Correct.
You
Just trying to get that one out of his hand. I think you're exactly right. Just to get them maybe off of what they've been on, because seeing a lot of foul balls. That's what happens when you start to see, the slider, 89, 90. He's throwing 96. Everything's a lot of the same speed. That curveball maybe change your eyes. You see it pop up, and as a hitter tracks it in, might speed him up with a heater here.
2 balls
right by him.
at 2 strikes. Here's the pitch home, and it's outside with a fastball. So wheels will be in motion at first base for Garrett Goldbeck. Now Gapshot could score a run. Boy, Jason Walk plays as deep as anybody at center. And the wind is blowing out right now. Looks like pretty much straight away towards the batter's eye. Guy loves to come in on the baseball. There goes the runner. The 3-2 is in there. Strike 3 call. Nasty from Kyson Witherspoon. He's got 9 strikeouts through 5 innings.
Pitching staff.
Victor Crystal, the freshman from right down Missouri, will come in. One of the top pitchers in the Kansas class of 2024. Drops it a breaking ball for a strike. He's not thrown the ball too frequently. Had 2 appearances in February, logging a total of 2 innings. Then only threw 2/3 of an inning in the month of March, and 1 inning so far here in April prior to today. Went 1 inning, allowed 1 earned run and 2 hits. Struck out 1 batter at Arkansas. That was his last appearance. That was 12 days ago in Fayetteville. And he's got the top of the lineup. Gamble, Willits, and Carmichael. Mizzou down by 6. Seeing how many outs Victor Crystal could get in relief. Pitcher number 3 for Carrick Jackson's side today. And if anybody in the Sooners lineup, I mean, Trey Gamble is happy as the Caden Chacombe is not out there anymore. 0 for 3 with 3 Ks.
It's a tough day for him. Let's see if he can battle here with 2 strikes.
You look at the comparison between yesterday and today. Well, this is hit well out to center, but it's right into the tracks of Caden Pierre, who did not have to move. That's more like it for Trey Gamble. Results in and out, but that's what we saw a lot of yesterday. Barreled balls on the line.
Gets it back on track for sure after a tough couple ABs here. He'll be just fine. Don't worry about him.
To the 2-hole man at Jackson Willits, who climbs in from the left side. So Chidik shortstop. A single and double. He's scored twice, and he's driven it 2 today. It's 0s and 4s up on the board for Oklahoma so far. Didn't score in the first or second. 4 in the third, 4 in the fourth. And then we're held off the board. Last inning by Josh Kirchhoff. despite 2 walks. Now it's 3-0. The last thing you want to do coming out of the bullpen in this type of a game is get behind guys like this. Dylan, this is what we saw a lot of last night from the Tigers' pen.
You're coming out of the bullpen. Need to get ahead of hitters.
Mizzou staff, it's given up 25 runs through the first 13 innings of this series. Only gave up 19 over the entire weekend in Gainesville. But the offense only scored 4. And there's a base on balls as Willits is aboard for the 3rd straight time. Just doesn't feel like there's anybody in this lineup who at any point is pressing or trying to do too much.
Everybody knows their role. Hence the 27-10 record they got.
It felt like that was a key that Skip Johnson was hitting on. Knowing your role. Took him a long time to figure that out with all the new faces, right? 28 new players. Losing 65% of the offense, 55% of the pitching staff. Well, they haven't missed a beat here. And the 2 big non-conference wins versus Virginia and Oregon State. Trying to win 4 of their first 6 SEC series in year 1 in the conference. Big hole right side of the infield for Carmichael, and that's almost over his head. Talk about not pressing. It has felt like some of the Mizzou arms coming in relief have been trying to be a little too perfect. And that has led to very hitter-friendly counts and plenty of free passes.
And this is not a guy you want to get behind.
3 RBIs in his last 2 plate appearances. The sac fly and the 2-run bomb. There goes Willits from first. Pitch was out of the zone on 1 hop. It's not in time. It's another stolen base for Jackson Willits. He remains perfect on the year now, 12 for 12. Swiped 4 yesterday. And moved them up to 93 on the season. Inching closer and closer to 100, which is a number they really always expect to hit nowadays. Back-to-back 1-out walks.
First baseman, number 16, Dayton Tommy.
So yesterday, every single person in the lineup walked except Easton Carmichael, who just walked here. 6 guys in the OU lineup have drawn at least a walk tonight. And that's drilled right through the right side of the infield. That's a base hit. It's the windmill at third as a runner's going to score. The throw goes to third. And we'll get the out there as Easton Carmichael's tagged out, but Willits touches home. It's 9-2 Oklahoma. Dayton Taki with an RBI base hit.
This is a good swing by Mr. Taki here, cashing that RBI. Kind of an awkward slide, like he slid, and then if he kind of just would have went maybe straight in, I think he still would have been out, but him trying to swim it wasn't very helpful.
Maybe just a little early there,
sure,
too, right? Golfed in the air out to left field. Brock Daniels coming in, still coming. He makes the grab, able to flag it down with the final out. 1 more run on the board for OU. Last of the 6th is next. Oklahoma got the first 8 runs of the day. They lead 9-2 as things stand entering the bottom of the 6th. Witherspoon's been electric on the mound. 9 strikeouts. He's 3 away from tying his season high at 12 Ks in 2 of his first 4 starts. Carmichael with a home run walk as well. They both have multi-hit games. Pierre with the 2-run shot, producing all the damage that Mizzou has been able to pull off against the potential first-round pick on the hill. Another day with double-digit hits for OU after a season high in runs and hits in game 1 of this series. For Mizzou, it's a story that just continues to remain consistent, and that is the pitching staff, as Carrick Jackson has alluded to and said verbatim, hemorrhaging right now. And when they have pitched well, generally the offense has taken their foot off the gas and slowed down a little bit. This will curl down the left field line over towards the corner. All the way to the wall it goes for Jackson Lovich, who's in at second with a leadoff double.
Left this slider up just a little bit.
So entering the series since March 1st, Jackson Lovich was hitting .468 with 12 multi-hit games. Well, he drove in half the Mizzou runs yesterday. He's got a double, a walk, and a run scored here this afternoon so far. See how this matchup looks after Pierre got to Kyson Witherspoon for a home run last time. Seven-run deficit. Mizzou did score 10 runs in a 10-9 win on Tuesday versus Missouri State. And that's a beautiful bunt down the third baseline. There's no play for Willis. It's a bunt single and a multi-hit game for Caden Pierre.
Missouri playing some baseball here. Very nice bunt, good speed, runs well. Takes a peek at the third baseman, drops this thing down. He can fly.
Got Oklahoma napping a little bit when you're desperate for base runners. You'll take him any way you can get him. And I'm bounded from Pierre. Homers his last at bat, then comes up and drops down a textbook bunt single the other way. So they're at the corners for Pierre Seals. This is a part of the order that has really struggled today. 4, 5, 6, 7, even 8. Combined 0 for 10 with 7 strikeouts. There goes Pierre. It's a swing and a miss throw all the way down, but not in time. Stolen base for Caden Pierre, who's now 11 for 12 on the year. Trying to give Oklahoma maybe a little dose of their own medicine. Some chaos on the base paths. Seals with 2 strikeouts. Patterson on deck also with 2 Ks. And this will be a pitch clock violation, I believe, on Seals.
Not sure. Is it on Seals?
Yeah, it's going to be 0-2. Took him too long to get in there and ready. Automatic strike is the last thing you need to give Kyson Witherspoon, especially when he's already ahead. Witherspoon eyeing that 10th strikeout. Instead, it's a chopper out towards short. Willits cut off by Willis instead, who gets the out at first base. Boy, bang, bang. Strong throw as Dawson Willis slings it over to first. A run comes home, but Oklahoma will trade that for an out.
First base.
And Garrett Jackson will challenge the play at first to boot.
I think they got this one right. I think.
I'll agree with you before we see the replay.
Those choppers on this turf, man. Oof. Let's see.
This might be the best look at it.
I got out. Oh.
Yep.
Out?
I think out indeed. I don't think that ankle's quite down yet.
We do that. Can we run that back again, fellas, real quick?
Certainly would be a tough one to overturn the decision on the field. It's Damian Beal, the first base ump, who makes this out call.
After review, the runner is out. Missouri loses the challenge.
Bingo.
Missouri loses the challenge. Got to appreciate an expedited review like that on a play that was pretty bang live. In and out, that's the correct call. It's an RBI for Seals on the 5-3 ground out. Or good defensive work from Dawson Willis. It's a nice defense in reality and on paper.
Sure, those
Willis
are the ones,
and Willits on the left side.
correct. That's those are the ones where you might give up the run because you're leading a little bit, but you need the out, right? You don't want to come away empty-handed.
Especially, I mean, maybe both teams would take that because it was an 0-2 pitch to Seals, who was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Was able to put it in play and get a run back. Deficit at 6. You got a chance with a runner at third and 1 out to at least score 1 more. Patterson squares to bunt, drops it down the first baseline. They're going to let it roll, and it's foul.
Good idea. Good idea.
It's a tough one where you're trying to reach as well and drop that down for a hit, but on an 0-1 pitch,
Right.
you're really, the thing you have to do is score the run. So maybe you're a little more cautious and hit that a little bit more towards the triangle between pitcher, second baseman, and first baseman. Instead, now it's 0-2. Plus, you always get the true roll on the turf. Mason Witherspoon, 0-2. Dropped all the way back in there. There's another right-on-right curveball.
There you go. That was a little bit more effective.
Pitch is probably consistently missing a little up from what he would like, especially 0-2. Got an awkward swing there from Patterson, very defensive, and now he gets the chase on the high fastball. Almost fell down across the batter's box. Double-digit Ks for Kyson Witherspoon. That's number 10.
And that's what you get when you throw that curveball. Kind of pops, right? It takes the hitter's eyes elevated, and then you throw that heater right on that same plane. Almost buckles his knees there. This guy's got stuff, man. He knows what he's doing. Looking to bear down here with a guy on third and 2 outs and minimize this.
Well, both these teams advanced to the 4 on the floor yesterday. That was not a stuck landing, if you will. Got to deduct some points for the scamper across
You
home
were going to
plate.
get something in there.
It's the last weekend for the season on the mat, so always nice to get a reference in there. 9-3 game. Big run standing there at third base. After the freshman couldn't produce him. Instead, stepping in to lace it up the middle. Brock Daniels does get the big 2-out base hit that Mizzou's kind of been desperately searching for in this series. 9-4 game, first hit of the weekend for Brock Daniels.
Talked about just hitting balls up the middle. Is my goal every time as a hitter. Hit it where they ain't, Max. Missouri's done that twice here in the last 2 innings. Mr. Goldbeck, Brock Daniels.
This is where you're starting to think, I mean, not that there's a goal or an expectation entering a game. Hey, how many runs are we going to score against the opposing starter? But if you're going to put up 4, the way Kyson Witherspoon has been spinning the baseball, so overpowering with that incredible slider, I feel like you feel decent about your chances, but you cannot fall behind to this extent and give up 2 crooked numbers back-to-back in the 3rd and the 4th inning and expect to come back into the game when you've got a guy on the mound of this caliber. Hasn't allowed more than 3 in a game all year long until today. Coming off the complete game shutout. SEC co-pitcher of the week. Snipes went in there in 96. So, excuse me, he had allowed 4 runs, but 1 was unearned in that start at Alabama. It was 3 weeks ago.
Sorry to cut you off, Max. You might see a curveball here. Struck out Peyton Basler on one of those curveballs earlier. So got an 0-2, maybe a pitch to waste. Let's see the game within a game.
It's the first time that Kyson Witherspoon's allowed 4 earned in a game all year. Carmichael sets up away, and this is flared out towards right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Daniels flying around second. He'll get to third, and they're at the corners. 2-out magic brewing here for the Tigers.
Might be his worst pitch of the day. This is just an 0-2 heater. Not in the right location, as he knows he missed the spot here. Supposed to be away. This ball's inside. Not a quality pitch.
Feels like the biggest miss we've seen, at least on a fastball.
Correct.
Set up away, you're well in front of the count. That leap back over the heart of the plate. Bottom third of the zone, but Yadier Hernandez now, and boy, you think about, I mean, he's had some healthy hacks up here. Over 2 with the ground out and a fly out. He had a sharply hit ball to third his first time up. Third time facing the Sooners starter. This will be pitch number 96. This will match his pitch total from the complete game shutout last week. It's been a gutsy effort here for Mizzou of late. They've scored 4 of the last 5 runs, and after that pitch, it will be Skip Johnson coming out. Head coach and pitching coach, so it's always tough to get a feel if he's going to make a change or not. This was after first pitch to a batter, and there is bullpen action for Oklahoma.
This is a good visit here, too. I know everybody usually asks, well, what are they saying out there? Well, I think this is maybe giving him a breather. Hey, you only made 1 bad pitch to a guy that you were ahead of. We got a right-hander up. Take your time, throw some quality sliders. Let's control that heater here. It's a big spot in the game for Missouri, as they had some guys up and moving, but now they're starting to play catch a little bit here.
Reed Hensley, Jaden Barfield out there. Barfield got the start at Stillwater on Tuesday. Looked very strong out there. That conversation might have also been, hey, we got right on right, and we got the backup catcher up there who's hitting 153 on the year. So go right after him. Gap shot here. Mizzou's right back in it. 2 runs home in this inning. A leadoff double, then the bunt single from Peer. They both come around to score. And Hernandez has to lean back from a fastball in. Garrett Goldbeck, the 9-hole man, is next. What's the approach here in front of the count 2-0?
Sometimes he's a little bit passive. Let's see if he gets everything ready to rock here.
Chopper right back to the mound. Witherspoon takes care of it, gets the out at first. Mizzou scores 2, but they strand 2 as well. We're through 6. Oklahoma up by 5. Both the men's and women's side on Sunday. Well, Missouri's hoping they can serve up a rally here in the final third of this game, down by 5.
Okay. Little pickleball tennis reference.
Yeah, I don't have the knowledge to elaborate on the SEC Tennis Championship, so figure we go punt instead.
There we go.
It's the freshman second baseman Branch up for the 4th time to get things started here in the 7th. He takes a high strike. Punched out his last 2 at-bats after he was out on the batter's interference his first time up. Took the lumber out to the leather earlier, as Skip Johnson said it. Potentially leading to that area at second base. Hey, sun's finally out.
I was about to say. Got these shades on.
Looks funky at 2:11 p.m. local time with the lights on and the sunshine out here. That one leaked inside, 2-2. Oklahoma's played 3 straight run rule games. They've won the last 2. It's a 5-run game right now. But they have tended to bust out late in games. The grand slam at Stillwater on Tuesday to give them the 11-1 win. Yesterday it was 5 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, and then a 6th spot in the 8th. The 8th inning has really been where they've done a lot of the damage lately. 2-2. Branch just 2 for his last 26 across his last 3 SEC series. That includes this one. And he'll take a walk here. It's another leadoff base on balls as well. When you look at a 5-run differential, and Mizzou, I believe, is up to 7 walks on the mound. And now a wild pitch. And racing for third is the freshman, and he is going to get there. Oh, how about it? Gotta love the effort from Kyle Branch. Hasn't had his best effort tonight, but just putting his head down and booking it first to third.
This might stir up a little bit of intensity in that Missouri dugout here. And first to third on a ball to the backstop is unacceptable. I think every catcher knows that.
You said unacceptable. I was thinking, I mean, that just can't happen, right?
Correct.
Corners in the middle, infield still back. A little bit of that lefty power shift with the second baseman playing deep. It's the powerful Sam Christensen. Been on base just at will in this series. And he drives one high in the air out towards deep right field. Seals and Pierre converging at the wall, and it is gone. Sam Christensen with his 5th home run of the season. A 2-run shot and the lead back up to 7 for the Sooners. It's another leadoff walk that comes around to score.
This guy's used to getting hit and walked. Said, I'm going to take this one for myself. Down and into a lefty. Into the trees. He'll take the 2-run bomb for the Sooners here. Top 7.
Right into the pine trees and right center. Was in the air forever. That's turned on and glide out to left field. Daniels has to play it on a hop. Base hit for Drew Dickerson, who's been on base 3 times in back-to-back games back at his home state. This is bottom half of the lineup. Really producing. I mean, top to bottom, 1 through 9. It's been another really consistent democratic effort from Oklahoma. I mean, everybody has been on base except Trey Gamble. Boy, if you told me that coming into today, I'd say no shot. Everybody on except Trey, who was incredible yesterday. Single walk, a run scored, and a line out to third for Dawson Willis. At any time in this series where Mizzou has answered back, tried to climb back into it, Oklahoma has just erased any hope, trying to take away any doubt from this win, just like they did last night late.
They got a good ball club. We've talked about options on how they could beat you. Well, lackluster plays from Missouri's defense here has turned into homer. And OU, they just don't stop. They know that they can't stop. I mean that respectfully. That mentality of that kind of that JUCO warrior, JUCO mentality, that they got some good players, man. They've been around the block. They know what's going on. They're not going to beat themselves. That's half the battle, Max, as you see from Missouri on the other side. Don't beat yourself. This game's hard enough. This game is full of failure.
Yeah, I think it was Wes Carroll who he interviewed earlier in the year with Evansville, who said the toughest opponent is the man in the mirror. And for Mizzou, that man in the mirror is to consistently beat them. And boy, Garrett Jackson's going to make a change at catcher as he comes out.
You knew that was coming, Max. I mean, I could
probably thought it would come next inning.
Sure. Blood was boiling there. Obviously not happy. This mound visit is that catcher change. Not much to talk about. Hopefully Cerna's a little bit warm. He's probably going to have to catch the second game as well.
Catcher change mid-inning. It's not a prototypical substitution that you see. So everything else stays the same. Garrett Jackson not too happy with J.D. Hernandez, you'd imagine, after ball to the backstop, you let a guy go first to third. It wound up not really mattering too much because anybody would have scored on the home run, but still, I mean, it was not a good look at all.
I think it's the principle of the operation.
I mean, on paper, can't allow that. I think you got to agree with the change here. 2 men on, still nobody out, and that's a wild pitch on the first pitch thrown to Mateo Cerna. Boy, I mean, that's brutal on any catcher that has just entered. You throw a breaking ball that only goes about 58.5 feet. Catcher that's been in the game all day would have a difficulty and a hard time trying to get that. Corners in, middle back. To its scoring position now.
I mean, you could say safe to say this is going to be a heater here. Oh, breaking ball again. This is not a guy you want to get behind.
Trey Gamble squared one up for the first time today. Last time up, lying down to center. He's 0 for 4 with 3 Ks, though. Chance to add to that 18 RBIs he's got on the season. Takes a get-me-over strike. 6 RBIs yesterday. He had a chance with the bases loaded and nobody out in the 4th, but he was punched out. Now it's 3-1. Ball here would load the bases for Jackson Willits. This is where Oklahoma starts to think about potentially shortening this game again. That's ball 4. 3rd walk of the inning. Still nobody out. First 5 have reached. Jackson Willits got his first bases loaded hit of the season earlier today. Double he had that scored 2 runs back in the 4th inning. A chance to get his second, and he'll be dealing with a count in his favor.
Every time I'm watching an OU hitter, it's like it's one-on-one, right? They're facing the pitcher. They're not, worried about the situation. No one's trying to get a hit. Taking good pitches, being patient. You could do that when you're 27-10.
A lot of coaches say, hey, 1 pitch at a time. We've heard it from both these guys entering this series. With Oklahoma, it really does feel like it's just pitch by pitch. Battling and competing every step of the way. 1-2 now. Good battle back from Crystal. In the 2nd inning of work, he's allowed 3 runs, all earned on 3 hits. He's walked 5 and doesn't have a strikeout yet. And again, bounced out in front of home plate. Cerna this time up to the task. It's tough when you come in at catcher mid-inning. It's not like they're going to let you receive some warm-up pitches.
Correct. Usually, you see that when someone gets injured, you get to warm up. And catcher, no, sir. The game continues.
The 2-2. Leaks away. Arm side miss with the breaking ball, and it's a full count. Walk here would score a run. Willits has 2 RBIs. The man on deck, Carmichael's got 3 today. And the 3-2 is cut on and missed. There is the first strikeout of the afternoon for Victor Crystal.
Very uncharacteristic from him. Maybe he might have swung at ball 4 here. Yeah, definitely down in the zone. See if the next guy, the All-American, can pick him up. He's done it all weekend.
Gets that front foot down on his load just so early. Seen him shorten up. At least the swing kind of widens up the stance when he's got 2 strikes on him.
Talked to a couple scouts. It's a little stiff up top for my liking, but the lower half is always in a good spot. Seems to always make good contact, deliver the barrels, delivers his barrel accurately. Not a lot of swing and miss. I'll credit that to the lower half being in a good position.
I mean, he's a catcher who's hit over 300 3 straight years to get his college career. Cuts through a high fastball. Hit 306 with 6 long balls when he was in the Big 12 all-freshman team in 2023. Hit 366, led the team with 64 RBIs last year. Led the entire Big 12 in conference play in RBIs and hit 406 at conference play in 2024. He skies this right in front of home plate. It's Cerna still backpedaling, almost gets tackled. Boy, you gotta hope that Chris Patterson is okay. It is a second out, and everybody stays put. Patterson down right now on his stomach. Back up to his feet at least. A scary collision. Not the best communication. Again, you got a catcher who's only been out there for a few minutes, and it's the 7th inning. Patterson, the freshman, looks to be okay. I mean, neither guy really ever looked too confident. Cerna's calling for it. Patterson's kind of lunging at the last second. I'm not sure he was going to make that catch. See what happens here with Garrett Jackson using this as an excuse to get out there and visit with his entire infield that'll congregate on the mound. But
I think they're going to make a change here, Maxie.
now we will see a pitching change.
Caden Nicoletto, I think.
Not a memorable afternoon. Inning at 2/3 for Crystal, but the bases loaded and nobody up. He gets the 2 and 3 spot in the order, and now a new man coming in. New man on the mound is the southpaw Caden Nicoletto, the senior from Australia, who listed as an outfielder. This is his 5th appearance on the mound. Didn't see him pitch till March 28th in a game right here versus Texas on the year. Just 2 1/3 innings. Hasn't allowed an earned run yet, just 1 unearned one. Like K, 2 walks. He's a guy who, when we talked to Garrett Jackson in early February as the season was just beginning, who he transferred from Columbia College, an NAIA school just down the road locally here. He said, hey, watch out, because this kid might pitch at some point this year, too. Prior to having Tommy John surgery, he was throwing about 93, 95. Well, he's returned. He's not throwing quite that hard. But he's a guy coming out of the bullpen. I think all you can ask for right now, it's not even put up zeros. It's throw strikes. 11-4 game. Oklahoma's kind of feel like this might be a chance, and they have raked with 2 outs. That goes wasted, though. Bases loaded, 2 runs already home, but bases loaded, nobody out. 2, 3, 4 due up. Willits gets caned. Carmichael pops up to the catcher. And a chance for Mizzou to at least get out of this inning and force the game to go 8 innings.
Let's see if my guy, Mr. Taki, helps him out here. I've liked the swing since yesterday. Lefty here. Let's see if he can help him out. I'll tell you right now who's probably not happy. He's seen Coach Skip Johnson, seen them in 2 days kind of cash in some at-bats. I will be pretty hard on them as well. They've had a couple chances to blow it wide open and haven't put the throttle down. I don't even think he's expecting hits. He just wants good fundamental at-bats, especially from the guys higher up in the order with bases loaded.
Taki's got a hit and a walk today. And he swings over the top here, 2-2. Taki quietly been very productive towards the bottom of the order. He's moved up today to the cleanup spot. He's walked in 8 of his last 9 games. He's got an RBI in 5 straight. Chance to extend that streak right here.
Oh, man.
Popped that up straight back. Boy, that was a chance to drive one.
Sure.
He knows he just missed, too.
We talked about only getting a couple cookies in an at-bat. Gonna have to really battle here. He does a good job with spreading out with 2 strikes. A little bit of a wider stance, as you see a lot of these guys looking to put something in play.
Fouls this back.
Doing all he can do.
Weatherford Community College transfer in year 1 with the Sooners. He's got 5 home runs. Doesn't have a long ball yet in the month of April. 3 RBIs over the weekend. Drove it 2 last night. And rolls this one over to Basler at second. He'll charge on it and has plenty of time to get the out at first. Oklahoma had a chance to really bust this thing open. Bases loaded, nobody out. They couldn't add any more. But Sam Christensen providing the pop here in the 7th. A 2-run moonshot out to the pine trees in right center. Stretch time here at Taylor Stadium. It's the end of the line for Kyson Witherspoon. He goes 6 innings, allow 4 earned runs, just 1 walk after he did not walk a batter in 7 shutout, 2 hit innings on Saturday versus Vanderbilt. It's another performance in which he gets into double digits in the K's department. Racked up 10, gave up 2 in the 4th and 2 in the 6th. So they go from the flight-throwing right-hander to Jaden Barfield, the freshman at 5'9" for Pearl at Texas. He's 1-0 on the year. You see just about averaging 9 strikeouts per 9 innings, 5 walks. He's given up 12 hits. Guy we are seemingly seeing more and more of as the year progresses. He got the start, worked 2 scoreless, hitless innings earlier this week on Tuesday. Walked 1, punched out 2. Front door breaking ball that just misses for ball 1 to Garrett Goldbeck. Oklahoma hits 2 on a 2-run shot in the top of this inning, but it looked like it could be at least a 4 spot and maybe a chance to end this game early. Now Mizzou's got 9-1-2 trying to get to this Sooners bullpen. Bullpen yesterday that went 3 innings and only allowed 1 base hit. Well, here's a base hit right out of the gate against Barfield as Garrett Goldbeck scored for the 3rd time. He's got 2 singles. Solid afternoon from the 9-hole. So a left on left. Now you get to back-to-back righties at Knutson and Lovich. Knutson can get on. Mizzou would have to feel pretty good about the potential to put up a couple runs this inning. It's a bunt down the first baseline. Barfield gloves it, and he left it behind him. Tried to pick it up. That's what speed can do. It's a quality bunt. And Barfield with the lefty coming off the mound towards the 3rd baseline knew he was going to have to get rid of this in a hurry. Tried to glove it and flip it in one motion and just couldn't do so.
Really good footwork there in the box. You want to push that, it's called the push bunt, towards first base with a lefty on the mound. He falls off. Kind of had his glove in the wrong spot. He should have had it open, kind of like a claw on a excavator. You want to force it towards first base. He kind of had it in a unclawed position.
Claw on the excavator.
Pretty good.
Jackson Lovich takes outside. So Lovich last 2 at bats, a walk, a run scored, a double, and a run scored. He's been mighty productive ever since a slow start to the season in early February. He's been the hottest bat over the last couple months. That's nowhere close. Some of that evaded his shoe top. 2 balls and no strikes.
Here we go. This is a smart visit. Veteran coach here. Lefty's kind of got a ground ball in the wrong spot. Leadoff hit. Push bunt to first. Doesn't field it cleanly. You look up and it's 1st and 2nd, and I've thrown 3 pitches. I was being a little facetious, but taking it 1 pitch at a time when you make a mistake or you feel like, man, I'm feeling pretty good today. This is how baseball usually treats you. Let's get back to that 1 pitch at a time mentality.
Skip Johnson's side. They're 18-2 entering today when they score first. Well, they were staked out to a 8-0 lead in the middle of the 4th inning. Up by 7, Mizzou can really use an extra base hit right here and crooked number in this 7th. They've got the guy to produce at the dish. Count in his favor. Lovich takes low. 3 balls, no strikes. Caden Pierce on deck. Pierce had the best day of anybody on the Mizzou side. We've already seen a 3-0 green light home run earlier. It came from Carmichael in the 3rd. Lovich takes ball 4. Bases loaded, nobody out.
They're going to start moving around there down in the OU bullpen. I know that they have. You got a guy coming up, lefty-lefty matchup here. One swing would make this thing interesting.
So they'll play Willis a little in at third, and right as I said, he takes about 3 steps retreating towards the left field grass. A little bit of a shift in on the infield against Caden Pierre. And he takes the first pitch strike towards the inner third. 8 hits for Mizzou now. They've only been out hit by 4, but 3 passes, another major storyline. And saying that just about week in and week out for the Mizzou staff. 0-1. Chopper over towards first. Taki charging, gloves it, doesn't have a play. Everybody's safe and a run is home. It has not been pretty. A ground ball single, a bunt single, and now this infield single and a grounder to first. The first 4 have reached for the Tigers.
They're going to make a change. This is
we'll see a new pitcher out there. Just 10 pitches thrown from Jaden Barfield. Nothing in the way of hard contact against him, but Mizzou's got to run home. They've got the bases loaded, nobody out. 4, 5, and 6 due up in the order. We'll introduce you to the new pitcher when we come back. That he will give way to the senior from down in Texas. It is Dylan Crooks that is on. Actually, I believe it's Reed Hensley that is on. And they'll turn to a right-hander. This is a big spot. Felt like in the top of this inning, Oklahoma could have put up 4 or 5 runs and come into the bottom half of the 7th with a double-digit lead. Instead, they only get 2. And now Mizzou, I mean, this is the best opportunity they've had to put up a big number in an inning all series long.
correct, and I think that's why you saw the quick hook there as well. It's like, you know, he knows that Missouri, probably their best chance they're going to have.
Hensley with a 2.61 ERA. This will be his 15th appearance. He did make 1 start. 20 2/3 innings. He's punched out 24, only walked 9, and opponents hitting just a $176 off him. Got the high hold from the stretch and darts home a strike at 89 miles an hour. The senior from Lufkin, Texas, Tyler Junior College transfer, made 17 appearances on the mound last year with the 3.21 ERA. Bases loaded for Pierre Seals. And that's out front of home plate. Well, you could hear that stop from Easton Carmichael. Seals 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
He's been strong back there this weekend.
Big load, gearing up for it, but able to hold back. Took all the muscle in its body to not go around there. 2 balls and a strike to Seals. On deck, Patterson, who 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Had the scary collision, but that is still him out there. He's due up next. And Seals cuts right through it. Fastball at 92. That was exactly what he was looking for. Witherspoon to Barfield to Hensley. Tell you what, I mean, it's felt like Oklahoma's dominated this game, but one swing here, and all of a sudden we can have a tight ball game. Gap shot or a homer, and all of a sudden all the momentum would be on the side of the home team. Prime opportunity to pounce for the Tigers. 2-2. Ground ball towards third, wide of the back. We know Malachi Witherspoon will be tossed at game 2 of the day. Get started about 40 minutes or so after this one concludes. It's still a TBD at this point for Mizzou for the finale. Game 1, 17-4 was the final yesterday in favor of Oklahoma. Another 2-2. And this one's going to stay fair on the ground towards third. Willis across the diamond. He gets the 5-3 double play. A trade that Oklahoma will absolutely take. 2 outs for 1 run.
Nice job, Reed Hensley. Gets you a double play. Oh, you will take that.
No RBI for Seals, who's had a really tough day at the plate. Scores a run, but really had a chance to do some damage here. Got jammed on a pitch inside. It is 11-6 now. Back-to-back innings with 2 runs scored for Mizzou. Hensley, last time he threw was also on Tuesday, allowed 1 earned run in 2 innings. Hasn't pitched in an SEC series since they got swept by LSU. His last 2 outings, both in the midweek. Prior one versus Dallas Baptist. DBU side that has beaten up Oklahoma twice this year. Beat them on that occasion on April 8th, 9-1. Gave them their first loss of the season. Remember, it's the best start through 11 games that Oklahoma had since 2011. Reed Hensley doing a good job trying to limit the damage. Came in, bases loaded, nobody out. It's a 5-3 double play. Not trying to get the freshman third baseman. Here at second, 2 down. And that misses. So both teams have scored 7 in this, or excuse me, both teams have scored 2 in this 7th. Feels like both sides might ruin opportunity missed. Patterson scoops one in the air. Shallow center field. Branch going back. It's Willits, the shortstop, that makes the call. And the junior collects it for the 3rd out. Mizzou scores 2. We go to the 8th. Sooners up 11-6. Season best in the hit department as well. They have scored in 4 of the last 5 frames. And now they will face Kaden Nicoletto, who is starting a fresh, clean inning for the first time. At the last out of the 7th. Both teams loaded the bases. Both teams put up a couple last frame. The lead is 5. The Oklahoma team that's been comfortably out in front just about the entirety of this series. Mizzou's really best chance to get a win so far in SEC play came in Game 2 of the doubleheader. There was 2 7-inning games on a getaway day in Florida last weekend. They had a 1-0 lead, middle of the 4th, which is halfway in a 7-inning game, but let that one get away. Had a couple homers, though. Nicoletto with Seals, but could not hang on. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jason Walk, the 5-hole man's up there. He's homered, singled, and walked today. He's driven in 2.
First time we've seen him in the right side.
Switch hitting center fielder. It's right off his foot. "76 degrees. It's really been mostly cloudy all day long. There's a ton of bad weather coming into the Midwest, including right here at Como tomorrow. That's why the Saturday game, originally slated for 2 p.m., was moved up to a doubleheader here today. Little jam shot. That was an awkward sound off the bat. Windy as always. The wind is just howling out straight away left field, it looks like right now. It's one of those stadiums where it changes constantly. It's kind of subsided in right field if you look at those flags. Depends where you look. So you average them out, it's probably blowing out, maybe towards center. He went around, that's strike 3, first punch out of the day for Nicoletto.
I think he actually called it on the pitch. I don't think
Second baseman, number 6.
Jason Wong agreed with it. Looked like it was a little inside, but quickly one out.
Kyle Branch walked and came around to score on the Sam Christensen home run last inning. Went off the frame with the walk and then took second and third on the wild pitch. That led to a catching change mid-inning for Mizzou.
Was impressive. No hesitation either. You're going to make that decision. You better stick with it and roll.
That's hit on a screaming line right back up the middle into center. First hit of the series for the freshman Kyle Branch.
There you go. Don't take the leather out there. It's a good one-liner from Coach Skip Johnson. Seems to have found his way after a little base running.
That's back-to-back productive at-bats.
Exactly right.
Going to set the table for the likes of Sam Christensen, who's hitting cleanup yesterday, batting 7th today. A 2-run shot out towards the pine trees, towards the pitch clock in right center his last time. That was one you liked out of the hand.
He's a breaking ball. He's throwing a couple breaking balls here early.
Oklahoma took 2 of 3 versus Vandy and Norman over the weekend. Won the first 2 games. 11-1 W on the road at Stillwater on Tuesday. 17-4 convincing win in game 1 last night. 11-6 here. It's a bullpen for OU that hasn't had too many high leverage situations of late. Which is funny because entering this series we were talking about 8 of the 15 conference games they'd played have been decided by 1 or 2. That's belted out again towards the alley in right center field. This time it's going to short half the wall. Branch darting for third. He'll get the wave around. The relay does not come. It's held onto a run-scoring double for Sam Christensen. He's driven in 3 in the last 2 innings.
Talked about that breaking ball. Threw it to him 4 times in that at-bat. Finally got one up in the zone. Thought that ball had a chance to get out of here, Maxie.
Yeah, it's kind of going across the wind. Just didn't have the height either. Just a ringing double towards the wall. This is hit high in the air out towards deep center field. And boy, lost in the sunshine. It's going to drop down just beyond the mid-pier. This will bring a run home. 13-6 Oklahoma. Drew Dickerson continues a great weekend. The wind and the sunshine is wreaking havoc on the Mizzou center fielder.
Third baseman, number 5, Dawson Willis.
Gets the glove up there to protect that sun. He's got the sunglasses on. Nice job by the OU base runner, not being caught in no man's land. Able to score from second.
So Dickerson replaces Christensen at second. 3 straight have reached. I'm telling you, it's this 8th inning that's
You're right.
really been
You alluded to it.
just glorious for the Sooners offensively. Got a fighter's chance to try to set a new season high and runs scored. They're up to 15 hits. That's how many hits they had yesterday, which was a new season high. That did go down as a double, so it's a 3rd hit for Drew Dickerson in back-to-back games. He's tied his season high. He'll get the RBI as well then. 0-2 to Dawson Willis. Breaking ball hit softly over to first. Lovich will take care of it himself. And there's 2 away as Dickerson moves to third. Feels like almost every time through the order, the bottom few guys are producing more runs for OU. Drew Dickerson's hoping he never has to play outside of the state of Missouri again. 3 hits yesterday, 3 hits today. Like we said, with the illness to Deshaun Harris, might be out there for a 3rd straight start in this series too. See if he's back in the lineup in game 2 of the doubleheader. And really, left or right doesn't really matter. He's produced enough to stay in there, you'd think, anyways. 1-0 loops in there for a strike. So back to the top at Trey Gamble. Still 0 for 4. He walked his last time up. This is the 6th time through the order for the Sooners. And that hit him. Did not move, just wore that breaking ball at 70 miles an hour.
I think Cerna might have got the worst of this one. Forget that. When it hits the hitter, it usually deflects towards the catcher. I think this gets him in a not ideal spot.
Only time heals that wound. Correct. Like a glancing blow.
You know what I hate, right, Max? Everyone's like, are you okay? We talked about this the other day. Are you okay? No, I'm not okay.
I love it, a situation just like this when the trainer comes out there with the water bottle.
Sure.
Not the case here, but that does happen. You're like, I don't think water's doing anything. I mean, there's really nothing other than time that's going to help you.
Correct.
Nothing you can do. Men at the corners after the hit batsman.
One of my managers always used to say, I think I took a foul ball one time. He said, Dylan, everybody calls me DK, as you know. He said, remember, you signed up to play this position.
He's got you there.
Yeah, correct. He said, here we go.
Comes with the territory.
You're exactly right.
So we saw Walk flip around and bat from the right side. Now we'll see Willits in this 8th inning do the same. Cerna steps out to deliver some signs to the infield. 2 runs home in the 8th. It's an all-important run that is standing at home plate right now. Oh, it's 9 home runs on the year. That leads the team. He's driven at 2. Spits on one low and away. All batters have reached twice today. That's, I mean, keep in mind, when the 6th inning ended, Trey Gamble hadn't reached once. Pounded foul towards third. 30 pitches now for Caden Nicoletto in relief. It's just been a long day in the midst of a long SEC season for Mizzou, both literally and figuratively. And Willits loops one up the middle. That'll get down. It's a new season high. 16 base hits for the Sooner offense. Another run scrapes across, and it's 14-6. Willits has a 3 RBI day now.
Shortstop, number 7, Jackson Willits.
Good piece of hitting there, fighting it off. Take that RBI any day of the week.
Muscle that beyond the reach of Kagan Knutson. Another run scores. Easton Carmichael. Already talked about his success with 2 outs this series and on the season. That 2-out average up to .411. He is 2 for 3 today. Oklahoma overall was 5 for 11 with 2 outs. This is hit high in the air out towards deep left field at the wall, and it's off the top of the scoreboard. Second home run of the ball game for Easton Carmichael. OU has matched their season high with 17 runs, and they've done it on back-to-back days.
It's another breaker into a righty. Didn't really have much finish to it. This guy's an All-American. Been around this league for a long time. Nice piece of hitting there.
Lead up to 11. Those are some important runs. Oklahoma could be well on their way to a 4th straight game that does not go 9 innings. Carmichael having himself a day. So a day after Trey Gamble in the leadoff spot had 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. Easton Carmichael in the 3 spot. 2 home runs 6 RBIs. Six runs in the 8th inning.
You said it, Max.
I think I said it back in the 1st or 2nd. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason, but late in games and in the 8th inning in particular, Oklahoma has been a wagon of late. 17 runs in back-to-back games. They've scored 34 in this series in 16 innings. Missouri's also now given up over 200 runs on the year in SEC play. 202. On the other side, they have scored 70. He's just scooped up and out of play. The average for Mizzou in conference play entering this series was scoring 4 and allowing 11.2. Taylor Stadium is just in a silence right now. Full count, 2 outs, nobody on base, and there's ball 4. That was batter number 9 of the inning. It's the 2nd time Taki has walked today. 3rd time he's been on base. And now instead of Jason Walk, it looks like we will have a pinch hitter. Walk, who started the inning. It'll be Braden Horton pinch hitting for a 2nd time in this series. Batted actually in the 8th inning yesterday and struck out. Eric Jackson out to the mound. At this point, I mean, he could well be searching for just one more out. But we will have a call to the bullpen and a new man coming in. Right-hander coming in, stage left. 17-6 game. OU trying to really put this one away. Jalen Merchant will come on, the sophomore from Grayson, Georgia. It is only his 4th appearance of the year, and combined he's logged just 1 inning. He's walked 6. He's allowed 1, or he's gotten 1 strikeout, excuse me. But 3 hits leading to 9 runs, 8 of them earned. That side slot release. And we'll see if he can stop the bleeding. 6 runs home in the Oklahoma half of the 8th so far. They've got batter number 10 of the frame. They batted around back-to-back days in the 8th inning. They sent 11 to the dish in both the 6th and the 8th yesterday. Braden Horton will greet him in the batter's box. The junior will pinch hit here. Struck out as a pinch hitter in the 8th yesterday. 17 runs on 17 base hits. 4 home runs for the Sooners as well.
Just looking for one more out here for the Tigers.
And Horton almost gets hit. Fastball way inside. Last appearance for Merchant was at Arkansas. Did not get an out and gave up 5 earned. It was back on April 5th. Way inside again. Well, it'll be back to the drawing board for Mizzou in game 2 of the doubleheader of the finale of the series. They'll be pressed into a 3rd game and trying to avoid what would be a 6th straight SEC sweep. Boy, that's a rough trio of pitches. Consistent miss, sends to the backstop. Taki up to 2nd on the wild pitch. I don't even know what your approach is here if you're Horton.
Try to make it out of here alive.
I mean, maybe flip over to the right side. 3 in a row that have almost hit him. The setup is away from Cerna, and the pitch is outside, ball 4.
Second baseman, number 6, Kyle Branch.
Kyle Branch, he's got to be happy to have the stick back in his hands. He's had back-to-back quality plate appearances, a walk, a single. He's scored twice. Some real heady base running from the freshman mixed in there. He's got a couple ducks on the pond with 2 down. And he takes a strike.
I mean, it's firm. 92 miles an hour from this angle.
Branch entered the series hitting just over 300. He's down at 293. Scoots back from ball 1. Had his first home run at his first season. It came on opening day back on Valentine's Day versus Lehigh. It was technically his first official college at bat. His first plate appearance, he was hit by a pitch. In his second, he dropped down a sac bunt. And that home run was notable because it did not leave the ballpark. First collegiate home run on opening day. It was an inside the Parker, and he shoots this one out to right field. Now goes station to station, the stop sign at third. Russell Raley is the team's third base coach, and the bases are loaded for Sam Christensen. So Kyle Branch has really done a nice job at turning around his series in a hurry. You talk about, he was mentioning the lumber, bringing out with the leather, and mishaps on both sides. Well, for a freshman, mentally sound. Learning a lot about his toughness here this afternoon, I think. Bases loaded for Christensen. And he takes a strike. 2-run shot back in the 7th. Sam Christensen, the right fielder. He's a triple shy of the cycle right now. So we're actually on cycle watch here in the 8th. Bases loaded.
Wouldn't that be something? I think the last cycle I saw was Ross Lovich against UGA maybe 2 years ago here.
You know, I've seen a few no-hitters. I've seen a 4-homer game. Never seen a cycle in person.
Really?
Break-even pitch. Christensen puts this up and out of play. Big hack there. It's a ball with 2 strikes. The cycle is just one of those feats where there's a lot of, I don't even know how to say it. It's a lot of luck involved, right? I mean, it's a highly skilled feat.
Correct.
Obviously, you're having a great day at the plate, but to randomly get the collection of single, double, triple, and homer. It's another big hack from Christensen, who's fouled away 2 straight. Been on base 9 times in 2 games. Got a chance to make it 10 right here and add to this lead. Another 1-2 coming. Good stop in the dirt. We mentioned it last night. It's just got to be tough to play defense behind this. Out number 2 of this inning officially came 15 minutes ago. 6 runs, 1 pitching change. The 2-2. And this should finally do it for the inning. Back behind the mound. Knutson makes the 2-handed squeeze. 12 come up to the plate. 6 come around to score. Oklahoma trying to shorten this. After a 6-run 8th inning, Oklahoma trying to see this out in 8 innings for a 3rd straight game in this week. 11-1 the final on Tuesday over OK State. 17-4 yesterday. They'll turn to Jackson Kircher, trying to get them across the finish line. Right-handed pitching freshman from Little Rock in Arkansas. 10th appearance. Outfielder / right fielder. Doesn't have it at bat yet this year, but this will be appearance number 10. 4.35 the ERA. He did throw once over the weekend versus Vandy. Went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, leading to 3 runs, but they were all unearned. He's thrown in weekend series versus Vandy, LSU, and South Carolina. So 4th appearance in conference play. Sometimes it's tough to be at your best, Dylan, when you come in a situation like this, but also valuable experience for a freshman to get in any SEC series. Mizzou's going to have to score at least 2 to keep playing. Mid-later innings have been just dominated by OU. 17 runs in back-to-back games. To do some digging to find out the last time that happened for the Sooners. set a season high and then match it the next day, and have both of those games potentially at least go less than 9 innings. Brock Daniels sends a charge into this one, deep out towards right center field. This is gone. Brock Daniels with his 3rd home run of the season. That's big for him. He began his college career at OU, transferred to Missouri, and he homers against his former side.
A little bit of a bright spot here for the Tigers. Deposits this homer over the right field wall. Good short stroke. Hit the heater out front. All the great players do things out front. You throw a fastball out front of your body, and make good contact out in front of your body as well.
For Jackson Kircher, he's allowed a home run now in 3 of his last 5 outings. Most of those outings have been 1 inning or fewer. 0-1 to Peyton Basler. And now Mizzou just needs 1 run, 17-7. I mean, that would be to just keep playing. Obviously, they're limited to just 6 outs to try to pull off a miracle here. Staring down the barrel of an 0-17 start in conference and the potential of a 6th straight sweep. 6th straight sweep. It's a tongue twister.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I know we talked to Coach Skip Johnson on the phone. He was telling us how upset he was, at the week prior that they didn't play well on, the second game. It would have been on a Sunday, but it'll be today. I don't think he's going to, take his foot off the gas either.
Yeah, I would expect them to come out for the finale of this series much different than a little bit of a lackluster, sleepy effort, as he called it Sunday. And Norman against Vanderbilt. That brings up Mateo Serna, who is batting for the first time in place of J.D. Hernandez after he came in defensively. That was back into the 7th inning. Freshman on the mound trying to get 3 outs without allowing Basler to score from first to end this ball game. Sooners lost on Sunday in run rule fashion, then won in a shortened game on Tuesday and then again yesterday. Trying to match that again. Here's a swing and a miss. 93 mile an hour on the radar gun.
He's throwing some smoke. Little funky delivery as well. Probably add some deception.
Big frame, 6'3", 219. In the baseball world, they always love to throw around the word projectability, right? That's dump back foul ball at 2 strikes. Well, certainly this guy has the size and the frame to have a lot of success. The air left side. And it is the 3rd baseman who makes the play. It's Mason Hamlet who's out there. It's just like yesterday. It's Willis slotting over to short late. Hamlin playing 3rd. Horton's out there in left field. Kane's in center now. So his 8th inning changes. When you have all the 8th inning runs, it leads to all the 8th inning defensive changes in the bottom half. That's
such a good job. Yeah, such a good job just getting those guys in the game. And all that experience, is very valuable. Obviously, winning the game is #1 priority, but getting some of these guys in a blowout game is very, very important.
And you know as well as anybody, as soon as you enter the game, ball's coming your way.
Correct.
Got to be on your toes.
Well, you got to think about it, too. I mean, let's be honest. OU's a very, very good ball club, but an injury happens. Someone gets a tweaked hammy on a turf on a game 2, and you got to go into the game, and how much experience do you have? And it's like, I haven't played since the midweek, and now today's Saturday, and you got to be ready to get into the game. That's how most guys make it to the big leagues, Max. You know that. Somebody gets hurt, you're in there.
That's some of the great things about, you know, the NCAA tournament, regionals and supers in Omaha. Anybody goes down, that's when heroes are made, right? Guys coming in off the bench you don't expect. Skip Johnson with the mound visit and a 2-0 count to the 9-hole man, Garrett Goldbeck. Looks like there is a lefty up and throwing in the bullpen, at least loosening. Remember, game 2 of the doubleheader just about 40 minutes after this one concludes. See Malachi Witherspoon go for Oklahoma. Not sure yet on the start for Missouri. Lifted left side. Willis is there, backpedaling. Almost fell down. Mizzou down to their final up. Back to the top of the order. Kagan Knutson, who dropped down that terrific bunch single his last time up. Pushed it right down the first baseline. So the offense has really been there for Mizzou today. When you wake up this morning and you're facing the best pitcher in the SEC at Kyson Witherspoon with an ERA just a little over 2, you come out double-digit hits of the scoreboard, 10 hits, 7 runs, but they just really have never been in this game. And now down to their final strike. Well, whatever Skip Johnson said, it's been a much more aggressive approach, it feels like.
He's got that effect on people.
Jackson Kirchner's come out firing since the mound visit. Kirchner sets for the 0-2.
Good pitch, good block.
Knutson able to hold up on the breaky ball in the dirt. 1 for 4 day with a backwards K back in the 5th for the man at the dish. Still Carmichael back there. See if he has the game off, maybe. In game 2 of the day. 1-2. That's outside. He has been a workhorse, if you could call a catcher that.
Correct.
Stable presence for a program that's churning out fantastic catchers these days. Hit well down the right field line. That'll slice well foul over the Sooner bullpen. It's about 3 hours and 17 minutes in. Played about 3:10 yesterday in a game that also went 8 innings. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Knutson calls another one back. This is the guy you talk about. You got to have a love for the game, and you figure out who's bringing the energy and truly loves the game of baseball when you're 0-16 at conference play. And Carrick Jackson told us, Keegan Knutson, if I had 35 of this man on my roster, we'd be in a really, really good place. Loves his attitude, his mentality, the energy he brings every day. And fighting here, going at least 7 pitches, down 10 in the 8th. And it'll make Kirchner throw at least 1 more. Kirchner versus Knutson. Lengthy battle here in the last of the 8th. Another good take. Just the kind of fight and resiliency and culture that Carrick Jackson's trying to create here at Mizzou. He's got to be a fan of this fight. 9th pitch of the at-bat. 24th pitch of the inning for the freshman Kirchner. Runner goes from first, and it's inside for ball 4.
fastball curve pop.
I think we just heard a snippet of the scouting report there over the crowd mic.
Trying to help his teammate out.
So this is where you test the mental fortitude of the freshman on the mound. Gave up a leadoff home run, hit a man, got the next 2 outs, pop-ups on the infield, and a 9-pitch walk to the leadoff hitter. And Jackson Lovich now, the best bat in the lineup. And he takes a fastball strike at 92. On base his last 3 plate appearances, he scored twice. 2-bagger and 2 walks. Down in an 0-2 hole. With runners on, Mizzou's hitting 400 today. Oklahoma's hitting 458, but they have 9 more at-bats in such situations. Oklahoma's also drawn 11 walks to Missouri's 3. The 0-2 coming. And a swing and a miss will end the game. Jackson Kircher shuts the door on Missouri. Oklahoma wins a 3rd straight in run rule fashion this week. 17-7 the final.
Show some dominance here. 6th run rule victory this season, 3rd this week. They're not messing around here.
This team does not like to play 9 innings, and it's another emphatic, all-encompassing win. The offense, the base running, the defense, everything's been going Oklahoma's way. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, we got Game 2 of the doubleheader coming up in just about 40 minutes. And thanks to our entire production team, my partner Dylan Kelly, I'm Max Thomas saying so long from Como. 17-7 the final.